What is up, everybody? What is going on? Hello, hello. What's up? I see you guys. Look at you guys. What is everyone doing here? This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I have never had this many people here. Hello, hello, I'm Void. Welcome to the stream. Tonight it's wait, hold on. I have to check something. I'm about to hit 1K subs. Is this for real? Guys. Guys. Welcome to the stream. Let's go. Who's excited for this game? Woo! My goodness. I'm pumped. I can't even believe how many people are here. Can I just tell you, this is my biggest live ever. I don't even know, like, gosh. Goodness, what do I don't even know what to say. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, welcome. Okay. Oh man, I need moderators to approve all these messages. Jeez, you guys are going so fast. I literally got oh my gosh. Okay, well, all right. Thank you guys for being here. This has been a crazy journey. I literally started like a few weeks ago doing some of this stuff, and I had less than 100 subs, and now I'm about to hit 100. I don't even know. Guys, like, this is absolutely insane. I'm like, my brain's like freaking out. I don't even know how to handle this. Wait, hold on. Oh my gosh, where do I see this? Oh my gosh, what? What? Guys. Oh! What is going on? What is going on? What is going on right now? Guys, jeez. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. Oh Jesus, this is like... Thank you. Oh my gosh. I literally have never had chat this fast. I have to learn how to read this fast. We should definitely all not unsub. I appreciate that. Anyway, thank you guys. I'm bowing. This is amazing. Oh my gosh. This is nuts. This is crazy. Thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. You guys are awesome. I really wasn't expecting the journey to like kind of jump up like this, but we have such a cool game that we're covering. Tonight we have the dev himself. That's right. Oh man. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you one of the greatest indie devs of our time. He's working on a game that none of us have ever seen anything like before. It's the one. It's him. He's here. And he's gonna answer some questions. And we're gonna have some fun. Let's go. All right. So without further ado, we're gonna bring him in. We have a Q and A for Ref. Let's go. Let's see some aliens in the chat. Oh my gosh. Raf.
Yo.
How are you?
I'm good, man. What an entrance.
I try. Oh my gosh.
I was walking on to like Madison Square Garden or something.
Oh my gosh. It is so good to have you here. It is so cool. I am honored. Seriously, this is my first Q&A ever. This is my biggest live stream ever. And I can't, there's so many other things I need to approve in chat. I can't even keep up with it. And you're here. So this has been a really awesome journey, really cool networking. And guys, can you hear him okay? Does he sound good? Is he loud enough? Yeah, you sound good. Do you have the stream up? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, my advice, man, like, since this is your first stream and you're not used to this many people, I wouldn't read the chat.
Yeah.
Like, I stopped reading chats a long time ago. I read them like maybe once every few minutes just to like see. But like, you're gonna, lose track of things if you keep trying to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Mo in the chat. You should make him moderator. He's my moderator.
Oh, okay.
He can handle all this stuff, so you don't have to worry about it.
All right.
And then we can get started for the real reason people are here,
Okay.
Congrats on the 1,000 subs. I didn't think it was gonna go up that quick, but
I think Kit.
Exponential growth.
Yeah. I think if Kit's here in the chat, thank you, Kit.
He's asleep, but everybody, if you're watching this, go watch Kit, because I'm gonna do a Q&A with him at a later date.
Yeah, Kit's awesome. He also covers the game. Hey, there he is. Thank you, Kit. He shared out me out there and helped me get over the 1,000. So I have both of you to thank. And yeah, so let's get into it. So I guess you guys want to hear some questions answered, and we're gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm an open book.
Let me just pull up.
I don't know all the pages. But...
yeah, you gotta have some things kept.
Keep some secrets.
Yeah. So, all right.
At Aya Entertainment, real quick in the chat, he is one of my artists. He really was one of the key factors in making the new tripods look great in terms of like the materials and the small details and the shaders and stuff. And he also helped with the new Uberpod. So yeah, he's a great artist. You guys should go follow him. He's got some really incredible work. And he's like the fastest artist I have ever seen in my life. Like, I'll be like, hey, can you do this? I'll go to my Fire Academy class, and then I'll get home and he's done. And I'm like,
wow. Since I made Mo a mod, can he post links in chat? Because if so, feel free to let him post a link in there if you want.
Yeah, see if Mo can do that. But anyways, let's get started.
Yeah. All right. So first off, this is my first time like really talking with you, so I guess I just want to know more like about you, how you got into game design. I know we talked a little. You said you've been doing it for like about 10 years or so, but what got you into game design, and like how long ago did you start, and also like how old are you? How long you been on this journey?
So I'm 27. I turned 28 in a few months.
All right.
I started. I was always like a big gamer, but not like, not crazy. Like, I wouldn't be the type to go stream and have a channel and be like pro gamer or anything. But I loved, games and always like simulation stuff, because I like to feel like immersed, by something that feels real, something that could be real.
Yeah.
And so I love things like I always wanted to be a pilot and a firefighter, so I would like play Flight Simulator as a kid. And then what happened was I saw people were starting to make add-ons for these flight simulators, and I was like 15 or 16, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I want to try and do that. So like I taught myself how to 3D model, and I kind of never went that route. Like, I never really did anything with that, but it was enough to get me like, okay, I can make a 3D model. That's pretty cool. And I was really interested in that stuff. But what's funny is like I started 3D modeling, but now that's kind of what I do the least.
Okay.
And anyways, fast forward, like I always wanted to be a firefighter, which I'm finally gonna become one next year in New York. So I'm super happy about that. And I found this game back in the day. I think it was like it had to be like 2010, and it was like a German game about emergency stuff. And I was like, it'd be really cool if somebody could like make New York in this game. So I taught myself how to mod that game. Fast forward like 6 years, I did that for like 6 years, and I got a really big reputation in that community for having these mods that were like huge, and I did really well. And eventually I felt like I did as much as I could with that game in terms of what I wanted to do. And I was like, you know what, I had an idea in like junior year of high school in class, and I like wrote it down, and it was about this game about firefighters and cops, and you could play with your friends, and it's like open world, like there's no missions, it's just like everything's random. Like you start in the fire station or in the police station and shit happens, and it was an idea I had. And then it took me a very, very long time to finally release that game, which is on Steam right now. It's called Emerge NYC.
Yeah, I found that as I was looking through your content. I found that you had done that other game, so that was super cool. Now, what language was that all in? Like, did you start in with that?
So that was all done in Unity, the same way I'm working now, C#.
Okay.
But when I started that game, I had zero experience with Unity. All I had experience-wise was modding a different game engine and like swapping out models and doing little things. It wasn't like I actually could make a game.
Oh, okay.
I think what it was just like my passion driven by like this idea of like, hey, I could make this really cool game. And I honestly faked it till I made it, because I started with zero knowledge. What I did was I crowdfunded that game just by the idea and like some prototyping I had done.
Mm-hmm.
And with the money that I raised, which wasn't a lot, it was like barely anything, especially for an indie game, but I hired like a studio and like people who knew what they were doing.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and blew through that money in like 3 months on like a team of people. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna downsize. I'm just gonna keep a programmer, because that's the thing I don't know how to do. Like I can 3D model and put stuff together and do stuff like that, but the programming was like beyond me. And I went through a lot of people working with them, and I knew like I wasn't really the type to want to like depend on other people to deliver this idea I have. Like I don't like to have to wait for somebody to finish something, or because I had a lot of people that would just go missing for months or like weeks, and I'd have deadlines and I need these people and I'm reliant on them, and I didn't like that. So eventually, like after kind of watching how they did things, I would ask a lot of questions, and I'd be like, oh, you're not around, I have to do it myself. Let me go study his code, figure out how this all works. And eventually, like I'm here now, and I feel like programming is the thing that I'm best at out of everything else.
Yeah.
So it's really funny how the tables turn.
Well, I have to say, with as how fast you put updates out, it like blows my mind. I've had a little bit of experience with, and this, but to people in chat, I've had a little bit of experience with game design, and it's funny you say that like you wanted to take on responsibility, because I'm kind of the same way. I had a class and I didn't want to wait on other people because they were just dragging their feet through the class in college. And I said, just let me do this project on my own. So I totally understand you there. And obviously from like what we see is you really come up with these updates super quick, and a lot of us know there is a ton of work that goes into it. So it's really fascinating to see, dude.
Yeah, I feel like Thanos in the Avengers, where you have the glove with all the stones, and that last stone was the programming knowledge.
Nice.
And when I put that in, I feel like I snapped and everything came together.
Nice.
Like, it's like a superpower when you kind of master all these different skills,
Yeah.
and you can do something like this. You can have an idea and literally like create it and manifest it.
Yeah.
It's a really cool like thing to know how to do, make video games. You know, I would do it for free any day. I don't do this for the money. You know, I have to pay my bills. Like I have a life, but and I would rather be doing this full time than, you know, an office job or working for someone else or something like that. So this is my full time job. Like I'm trying to get paid from this because I love doing it so much that I want to do it all the time. And if I do it all the time, then I can't survive unless I'm getting paid for it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a circle. But a lot of people, when I first started this game, were like, "Oh, you're in it for the money, like you're a scammer," and like, you know,
man, people who say that stuff.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but like I'm honestly doing this game because like I'm probably more like obsessed with this movie and this genre than like, most people here.
Yeah.
Like I watched this movie in theaters when it came out maybe like 5 times before it went to DVD.
Yeah.
And I was like a 13-year-old kid. Like I had to find the means to go do that. And I just thought it was such a great movie that really captivated me. But I never had that idea about a game until I was working on my other game. And I happened to find like a tripod model that I had, like one that you can find on the internet. And I just like dragged it in and I had like a spark. I was like,
oh man, what a moment. Yes.
So
what a moment.
Yeah, that was the moment it all like kind of began.
Oh wow.
Like it was either that night or the next day I posted the first video that is on the YouTube channel, which let me check. It has over 1 million views right now. It's got like I have it here. It's the first video has 560,000 views and the next one has 1.1 million views.
Oh, okay.
And that second video I posted the day after. It literally says Dev Day 2. I animated the tripod.
You know,
that video's got 1 million views. Yeah, we should go back and just look.
Yeah, do you want to like go back and watch this old video?
We don't have to watch the whole thing, but we can just skip through it. And
yeah. Now
you can like that. Those first 3 videos I posted, all of that was in a matter of 3 days. So like wow. I was on the move then, like I am now still. But you know, I had the other game, and this kind of was just like an idea at the time. Like I didn't really plan on. I was like, oh, it'll be a free game, like something I do in like a month. You know, like I didn't have big plans for it. And then you kind of just. So there's a time there where I went quiet for like a few months because I was working on my other game, which was like that's what pays my bills. And that's what I got to focus on.
Oh, okay. And so you were actually able to bring in money from the modding project.
The Emerge NYC is like a full-fledged game. It's not modding.
Oh, okay. But
yeah, I was
started.
an electrician before Emerge NYC, and then I was like, I'm gonna quit that and like focus 100% on this game idea I have. And then now, like you know, before this game, I was making a living off game development, but it was off my other game, so like I couldn't fully like transition all my attention to War of the Worlds because one, like I was still kind of like on the ledge, like is this something to pursue, because you know you have to think about the rights of the movie and this and that. So I was like,
that's actually something I was going to ask you
for free. Yeah, I was like, I will do that for free, like so I don't have any issues. And then yeah, I mean you can ask me.
Yeah, like oh man, this is great. I love this dialogue. I have so many questions that keep popping up. But this conversation is just flowing so well. And I do just want to address chat right now. We're going to do some like back and forth, like questions that I have for him, questions that he's seen on his community posts and I've seen on my community posts and in our Discords. And then at the end, if there's anything that like we still haven't answered, we'll just go to live chat and you guys can ask away if there's anything that we didn't cover or you're still dying to ask. But yeah, so you've been doing this full time. You've been doing game design full time for how long now?
Full time since 2016.
Oh wow, that's awesome. And you've never worked with like a team? It's always been yourself, and you just like hired people randomly, or?
In the beginning, it was like I was new to this, and I was kind of what's the word? I don't know, but I was just. You know, I didn't know much about the industry and like how things go.
Yeah.
And Gullible was the word I was thinking about.
Okay.
So then, like, I started my crowdfunding, and the studio reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, you need help making your game?" I was like, "Actually, yeah." And they're like, "Okay." And I was like,
nice.
"I don't have money, but like, I have this crowdfunding." And they're like, "All right, we'll make an agreement. As soon as you get paid, you pay us."
Okay.
So like, I got crowdfunded, and I sent all my money to them.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, like I said, like 1 month invoice was like $30,000. So like you can see like how that money that it's not possible to maintain paying an entire studio to make your game.
Yeah.
And I realized that fast, but you know, I hadn't known that and learned that until then. And yeah, I mean, 2016 is when I started full time, but I was kind of like paying other people.
Okay.
And then over the years, like I was still like the creative director. Like I put things together in Unity.
Mm-hmm.
I would just be like, "Hey, I need this ladder to do this. Can you script that for me?" Okay, gives me the script. I put it in the game. I make sure it all looks good and this. So I was the hands-on, you know, but I was having to pay somebody to like write my ideas like in code and like pay somebody like, "Hey, can you like make this whole environment for me?" Because like I can do it, but I'm not gonna do it as good as somebody who's a professional, and I'm not gonna do it as fast. And I have a lot more other things that I have to do myself.
Now, I might have missed it, but did you do any college, or did you learn coding later in life?
I started Full Sail University in Orlando, which is like an art school.
I had thought about Full Sail as well.
And I did online course for like maybe 2 months. And literally, there was not one single thing we did that was game related. And I went for game art. I went for game art because I wanted to become like a artist. But like then I realized I don't want to work for somebody. Like I'm not going here to get a degree to work for Ubisoft or some game company. Like I want to make my games. Like,
exactly. Exactly.
I'm not in this to work for somebody, and I couldn't do this for somebody else. Like if it wasn't
oh my
me
gosh.
in full control and like on the idea, I wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what makes me so happy about the fact that you're doing this by yourself, because you have that complete. There's so much more character that goes into a game when someone does it themselves. That's why I love indie games, because there isn't that person standing over their shoulder, like not just critiquing them, but thinking about like, hey, how are we going to squeeze microtransactions in here? Like, you know, like I'm assuming that's not exactly your mentality. You really just seem like you're more creating an awesome work of art that people are definitely obviously going to enjoy.
Yeah, I really hope so. Like the last year, it's only been like a year since I posted my first video, which was since I started the game literally. And we've already made it here, but to see the growth in the channel and like just in the people and the interest.
Yeah,
one, I'm beyond surprised, but two, I'm not, because this movie, like, all of us have kind of been living like under the earth, you know, kind of like low key. And then now that there's something for all of us to rally around together, it's like it's amazing to see how many people are really like into this.
Yeah. So yeah, you brought up that. So I know a lot of people have this question where, and I see this comment on my videos as well. People say like, isn't this owned by Paramount? Isn't this like a big IP? Isn't he going to get taken down? I mean, this is a question that I first had when I started investigating and covering your videos. So I know you've probably answered this a ton, but if you want to answer now for chat and everyone watching, what is the answer to that question?
Yeah, I get this question all the time. And basically, when I started this game, I was like, I want to make this game the movie. Like, I wanted to follow like the movie scenes and sequences and like have the same soundtrack as the movie and like all this. Like, I just want it to be like so close. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to make the game free and just make it like a fan thing, you know? And then I started putting a lot of time, like every day for months, like all day. Like I don't work a 9 to 5. Like I work, like as soon as I wake up, I do my little thing and then I sit down to work on this game, and I don't get up till 11 p.m. or midnight. So I started doing that every day because I'm so into it, you know?
Yeah, and it shows.
And I'm like, okay, I have to decide like what is happening here. Like, am I spending all this time on something that is gonna be like free and like make me neglect Emerge NYC? and that's the game that pays me a living, you know.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, I need to zoom out and kind of overlook things again, because I do want to sell this game and make it like an official thing. So I was like, okay, first things first, like the copyright issue.
Mhm.
What is copyrighted? The soundtrack. I'm not gonna rip anything from the movie in terms of sound. So like any sound you hear is like made by a sound designer, and it's not like we recorded it or ripped it from the movie, because that's an important thing as well in terms of like avoiding any issues legally.
Yeah.
So I made sure that gets done. But the one thing that I really want to stay true to in this game is the design of those aliens, because I think that's what all of us appreciate the most and what really brings like the horror genre to this game. Because I have in the works like a design in case the worst comes to worst, where they like
Okay.
want to make this an issue. But one, it's very unlikely, because one, the movie is over 15 years old,
Yeah.
and you know it's not like Top Gun Maverick. Let me make a video game about it, like profit off this $1 billion movie. It's like, you know,
Yeah, it just
like
got
this movie is
remade.
so old. Like, two, I have an investor right now. He hasn't invested yet, but we're like in the talks. Like it's about to be official maybe, and he's really persistent about wanting to get the rights from Paramount. But you know, it can go either way. One, it could be like, sure, just pay this fee, or it can be like, hey, we don't want you to do this. Where worst case, I have to use a different design. But knowing me, like it'll still feel the same, you know. And even if I have to change certain things to make it, you know, different from the movie, like that concept art you have behind you,
Mm.
that's Ryan Church's work. He's
Oh, really?
the concept artist who designed these machines. And I had idea to reach out to him because he's working on other games like Star Citizen and things like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he's in the game industry, and so is, I found out the other day, Steven Spielberg is a huge like gamer, like he's addicted to gaming.
Nice.
So like when I heard that, I was like, I really want him to know about this game. Like my
Yeah,
goal,
that makes sense.
I reached out to Paramount on numerous occasions to the different departments that I would need to reach out to, and I never got in touch with anybody. It always went to voicemail, and I left voicemails, and I tried my best to like make some sort of negotiations or offers or whatever. And at this point, I was like, look, I'm gonna do everything I can to avoid any potential problems, but I want to stay true to this machine, even if it means risking, you know, a lot. Like I don't care if I get sued, because I went after it. You know, I would rather take the risk and try than to like not have tried at all. You know.
Yeah, I hear you
And
there.
at the end of the day, like the worst that can happen is then be like, hey, you can't put that game out with our tripod. And I'll be like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I have this other design. It's different enough. It won't be issues. But
Yeah.
it's like, is this gonna be a big enough thing on their radar for them to be like, okay, we need to get a lawyer to go tell this game company to stop, you know? So I'm like, at this point, it's like, if it's an issue and it rises, like we'll handle it.
Yeah.
But if it's not an issue at this time, and it's very unlikely that it will be, but you know, in the meantime, I'm gonna stay true to the original inspiration behind this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it, man. I love your dedication to it, and it's cool because it's something that's recognizable to everyone. Anyone can see that tripod and be like, "Oh my gosh," and remember all those feelings. So
yeah, because I mean, we all saw that movie and we all know how we felt.
yeah.
And I want to deliver that same feeling, because it's like for 15 years we've just been left with the movie. You know, like there has to be more behind this.
Yeah.
And I mean, my goal is like make a great game, and when I have it to show, then I can approach Paramount like seriously with like, I want this game to be officially like licensed by Paramount, like, because Steven Spielberg made game for like E.T. and like his other
Oh
movies,
yeah.
and they like all trashed, like they were all terrible.
That you're talking about the one on the Atari, like that old school
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I read articles about this, and I'm like, I want to make a great game that can redeem his reputation in the
Yeah.
industry. But
And
no,
I
he's a
feel
huge
like
gamer, and I feel like if he got behind
so
it,
good.
like this would be great. But I
Yeah.
have a lot of dreams. You know, there's nothing impossible. Like they really could pick us up, and like it could be something official. But if it's not, like I'm gonna make it look official and feel official until they say something. You know.
Yeah, I'd like to think and hope that artists are kind of like-minded in wanting to see really awesome art like rise to the top, and I think someone would be flattered. I mean, I would like to think he doesn't have a big head and wouldn't want to like stomp this out. I'm sure, like if I made a movie and someone made a game off of it that I didn't even put any energy into and didn't even have like that amazing thought to start it, I think I'd be really flattered. And I think let's hope we can get this big enough to get noticed and that it works out, because I want you to see all the success that you can.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like people tell me all the time, like, "Oh, copyright, this and that, like movie right, blah blah." One War of the Worlds is public domain, so that's why there's so many different games and movies and musicals or whatever. Obviously, the tripods are intellectual property, but nothing is copyrighted until the creator says, "I want this to be copyrighted, and I want to pursue an action because this is copyrighted." So it's like that stuff isn't copyrighted unless they say it is, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not doing this to try to profit off of somebody else's work. I'm doing this because, keep in mind, I started this doing it because I was going to do it for free, but it's not possible. Like I can't keep doing this unless I know I'm going to get some sort of profit off of it. I'm not doing it to try to like rob anyone of their work, you know?
Yeah.
Everything else in this game is stuff that I put together or that I paid for or that I did something either out of myself or like out of my pocket that I had to pay for, you know? So it's like, I'm not trying to steal anybody's credit for anything. Like and there's a disclaimer, like all this belongs to the creators. Like I don't claim anything that you see like in terms of the tripod and stuff. But
yeah, I think you're a true fan and you're a true artist making real art. And you know, someone said if Paramount wants to sue, we'll just vaporize them. So exactly. You know, I'm okay with that option. But yeah.
So a lot of people say it in a way that like, hey, you can't do this or don't do this. And it's like if everybody thought that way, like things wouldn't be done, you know, like this would never happen. And this is something that I feel has to happen. And I genuinely feel that I'm the only one that can do it right.
And honestly, from what I've seen and looked around and you know, I did look at Gray Skies, and if everyone else knows that game, that was just so bizarre and so weird. It was like a total spin-off, and it wasn't at all what I was looking for. Like, we literally just want to play the movie, like, and that's what you're doing. Like, I just want to be in there. Like, the scenes I'm seeing from your gameplay and the feelings I'm feeling literally remind me of like the beginning of The Last of Us, when like stuff starts hitting the fan and you're just like in a city, you're around other people, but then something bigger than you shows up and then the world is flipped on its head. And I get those same vibes from the gameplay of what I see that you're doing. And I absolutely love that. And I'm sure a lot of people do too.
Yeah. The funny thing, man, is like back in the day, I used to try so hard to make this game look and feel like cinematic. Like a lot of my early videos were like hard scripted, like I knew exactly what was going to happen and this and that. But like as I put the game together, it's become so dynamic that all the footage you see on my channel in the last 6 months is all like actual gameplay that happened. Like I didn't plan for anything, and it all comes out so cinematic that I feel like I'm watching the movie or like I'm in that movie. and it's so cool. Just like being a huge fan of the movie, like being able to be in that universe, and like this stuff happens around you, like all the time.
Yeah, and that's
like,
also what's impressive.
All that stuff is footage from live streams that I do for the Patreons. Like I just play the game, and this stuff happens, and I'm recording the live streams, and I'm like, let me throw that in the next like video because it was such a cool like just thing that happened right in front of me.
Yeah, I love that fact that we're not going to see any of this like like, you know, you see AAA games like show like something at the bottom. It's like, you know, not in-game footage or whatever, or you know, it's like what you're showing us is in-game footage. Like what you're showing us is what we expect, and what you're showing us is awesome. So it's like our expectations aren't going to let down because you're showing us everything. So we're not going to have that annoying AAA complex where it's like, oh, this looks so good. It's like, what's that meme where it's like, oh man, I'm totally going to forget this, but it's like, oh, like the kid asks the parent, like, I want one of those. It's like, oh, we have one of those at home. And then you see the one at home and it's not even closed.
Yeah, like the blank off wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
But it's really cool, man, because like what you guys are seeing, like you guys aren't gonna see that when you play the game. Like it's gonna be your own experiences. So like everybody's content that posts about this game is gonna be unique. There's no like the only things that will be the same are like cutscenes. There's no cutscenes in the game, but like I have specific events that happen that are from the movie, like the lightning strikes and the machines coming out of the ground, like the intersection scene and the ferry, the battle on the hill. Like there's scenes that I created that are meant to kind of reimagine those moments from the movie.
Okay.
But also kind of put an original twist on them. But the really cool thing is that these aren't like linear things that happen. It's like you're playing the game and you come across the ferry and you get on the ferry and then this from the movie happens. You know, it's not like missions that you have to do and they're cutscenes from the mission or anything like that.
Yeah, so a lot of what we see from your game is really dynamic, and you've shown that and showcased that really well. And so what you're telling me now, I'm interested, the difference between, okay, so first off, is there story, is there multiplayer, and are there any other game modes? And then secondly would be, how do they differ? So like, are there cutscenes in the story mode? Are things scripted, or is everything just kind of dynamic and you enter areas and you kind of cue some kind of action or scene or something?
So none of this, basically anything you see or hear about the game is like final or concrete. Like everything is subject to change because I'm molding the game sort of around the idea I had, but as it gets bigger, I'm molding it with the community in terms of like what they want, what the feedback is on what I did this day, what they think this should work like, and blah, blah, blah. So like I'm not the type of developer where I work on this game in silence and release it and like, hey, this is what you guys get. I make my game with the community essentially, and I really base it on what they want because at the end of the day, they're the players and their input matters. But with that disclaimer, will there be multiplayer? Yes. Is there multiplayer? Not yet. Obviously, I have a lot of stuff to do before I start to network the game because why would I network my current character controller when that's not going to be the one I use? Or why would I network this when it's going to change, you know? So that's networking and multiplayer is going to be sort of a later state once the core of the game is kind of complete. Because I tried to do it the other way around with Emerge NYC and it was not the right way to do it. So a lot of things that I messed up with in Emerge NYC, like I'm trying to take those as takeaways and like learning points and not make those same mistakes. Because, you know, you start a full-fledged like video game from scratch with zero experience. Obviously, there's going to be some turmoil and some bumps in the road and stuff.
Yeah.
So like Emerge NYC is an amazing game. It's the best firefighting game if you want realism and immersion and like simulation. there's good games of firefighters that like are arcadey and stuff, but like if you want true to life, like to feel like you're in that, which there's a genre for people like who are into that stuff, including me. That's the game you want to play. But you know, when I made it, I had ideas that I wanted to do, and I'd get carried away. Like when I learned how to code, and I felt like limitless, I went crazy, and I was like, let me add wildfires, and let me add collapses, and let me add all this shit that's just gonna make more bugs to fix and more stuff that people are, you know, might not want. So
yeah,
a lot of people, like, it was great. Like all that stuff worked great. Like it went great. Like there was a lot of hype behind all the stuff I did. But as a developer, I'm like, all right, make sure like the stuff you did before works first, like well, and then also like the multiplayer was a nightmare because like I'm doing multiplayer and then all this stuff is changing while I'm adding all this stuff, and then I have to redo the multiplayer. So that's where I bring that in. But yeah, there will be multiplayer. I haven't started it.
Okay.
And in terms of the story, the way I have things set up is you have the main menu and you have free roam. So free roam will just throw you in a random spawn anywhere on the map. It might be in the house, it might be in a shed, it might be outside, it might be in a prison cell, it
So
might
it can just be like a
in
survival
a bunker.
mode.
Yeah, like it's just every playthrough is supposed to be different. So you start in a different place. Your story is going to be different because the tripods start in different places. Like it's a random time of day, random weather, like all that is random. What I do want to do though is like add sort of like a menu before you hop into free roam that you can customize, like where you want to spawn, the
that's
difficulty,
cool.
like because I didn't want to do that originally, but a lot of people like that idea, and I was like, yeah, it'd be nice to be like, hey, I want to spawn here. I want it to be nighttime. I want it to be before the first lightning strike, or I want it to be after, or like, because people want like to hop into free roam and it to be like before shit goes down, you know? Like
Yeah.
They want it to be like they want to witness everything unfold.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, hey, if I play this game so much, like I want to hop right into it, you know? I don't want to have to wait for things to. So it'd be nice to be able to have that sort of like option in terms of like, oh, how many max tripods do you want, or like how many days to survive do you want, you know, like, or like endless mode, you know? A lot of people have requested that, so I want to have that option for sure. And also in the main menu you have chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and these are all like, chapter 1 for example is right before the first storm and you watch everything go down. If you continue playing, it'll lead into chapter 2, which is the machine coming out of the ground, basically the first attack. And then chapter 3 is the plane crash scene. And all of this is done like obviously in homage to the movie, but it's done kind of in its own way so that it'll blend into the game.
Nice.
So it's not like there's not like the exact scene that exists in the movie with all the buildings and the church and the it's like it's kind of done well, but also done different and to fit into the game, you know. And chapter 4 is the ferry scene. Chapter 5
nice.
is the battle on the hill, and that's as far as I've gotten. But in free roam, you can still witness all of this stuff happening, depending on like if you walk into the area that. So like, there's a room that if you go in there, the plane crash happens. Like the windows start to like flash and it starts to shake, and then the plane crashes and stuff. And you know, if you go on the ferry scene triggers. If you go to the hill, the battle scene. Like this all happens even if you don't do like the story mode.
Okay.
I say that in like quotations because there's not a campaign, there's not a story mode.
So you don't have any objectives?
No.
Okay.
It's like the objectives are like up to you. In the beginning, in chapter 1, there are objectives like, hey, go outside or go investigate the lightning strike. But like after that, like after shit hits the fan, what I want to do is have sort of like not objectives, but like things you can find in the world or things you can hear from NPCs about like, hey, did you hear this ferry is taking people to this bunker? Which there's a ferry that takes you to an underground bunker.
Oh, nice.
It's like, hey, the player, I want to go to the ferry, and then, you know, I really want to see people play this game who have never seen the movie. Like that's one thing I look forward to because I want to see. I let a buddy of mine in Europe when I went play the intersection scene, and he had never seen the movie, and it was really cool to like.
Nice.
I've actually had two of my friends play, and they had never seen the movie, and it was fun. It was really cool to see. But it's free roam. It's like open world survival. But if you want to like experience a certain part from the movie, like you can click it. You know, you can do chapter whatever. But after that sort of event happens, it blends back into free roam. So it's not like there's a story mode in a free roam. It's all free roam, but it's like it's kind of catered to be like, hey, do you want to do this or that?
Someone in the comments mentioned Norwal actually asked if reminded me to ask that this going to be like Steam Deck compatible. So it really seems like this is definitely going to be a PC release. Do you have consoles in mind? A lot of people are asking this, and I'm sure you get it.
That's a huge question, and I'm really glad you asked it. So about consoles, one, I've never made a game for console, and I'm scared to because it's such a different workflow. And I feel like the way that I do things, one, being a solo developer, and two, being like always changing and always improving.
Yeah.
Like I haven't done my research too well, but I feel like making builds constantly, not only is it a pain in the ass doing it on PC as much as I do it, but like to have to do it for even for Mac, like my game Emerging YC, the Mac PC gets an update like every week, maybe like 3 times a week, and then the Mac version will get an update every like 3 months because it's such a pain in the ass to like build for both.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine having to add consoles into that and having to deal with the console testing and like making sure things work on console. It's just it's more than me, like than what I can do and what I'm comfortable to do. So I would really appreciate if you guys really want to play this game, like get a PC. It will be the best thing you ever did, I promise you, because not just this game, but like you're missing out.
Yeah.
Get a gaming PC. There's a whole world out there that you don't know about, I promise you.
Yeah, I have to say getting a PC was probably one of the best decisions in my lifetime.
Like I got a PC and now
you never play your consoles again, do you?
I sit at my PC all day, every day, because I make a living off my PC. Like I made a life out of this.
Yeah.
Like this, the PC is a tool. Like you need one.
Yeah.
Consoles are cool, but all you're gonna do is play video games on that. There's no productive ability in a console. With a PC, you can play your games, but you can also make games. You can also make an education. You can go to school on your PC. You can't go to school on a console. Like if my kid asks me for a PC, I'll be like,
that's such a good point.
You know, but if he asks me for a PS4, I'm gonna be like, what are you, stupid?
Yeah.
I'll buy him a PC instead.
Yeah, like when I first hit college, I just had a MacBook because of just doing music and being easy to record music on there. And I had consoles. And then when I started getting into like programming classes and wanting to do all these other things, and then meeting people who taught me about Steam and all these awesome games, I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just biting the bullet. And I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
Someone asked an interesting question, actually. Halo King asked, we got to start as a soldier. So spawning in and character customization. So let's tackle those two. When you spawn in, do you spawn with anything? Do you spawn as a character, and can you customize your character when you start?
Okay, so right now it's a vanilla white guy with a white shirt and jeans.
All right, going PUBG.
He doesn't change. He's static. He doesn't change.
Okay.
But by the end of next month, I want to show the new character system.
Oh, cool.
So that means new inventory, new UI, new feel, like everything.
Oh, wow,
and
nice.
That will include being able to dress your character like with clothes like hats and shirts and pants. And what I want to do is use some of the NPCs. I had an idea today to do like just use a random NPC model when you spawn in, and like here's your person, like make a story, you know.
Oh, nice.
But like this is all stuff that is still like going on right now. Like I said, it's just a white guy that just is a bald white guy that looks the same every time.
Yeah, I mean, you need his
when I put the
placeholders.
game out, like I'm not gonna settle for that. Like I have such a responsibility to uphold with this game because it's gotten so big.
Yeah, so
like there's a really good question on my other on my post.
Yeah, if you want to answer one, go for it.
Yeah. Okay, let me pull it up real quick. But yeah, like I feel like I have to really deliver. Like I cannot mess this up. You know? So with that pressure, like I really do want to do well. And another question, people are asking about a release date. And
like
I really
next week, right? I believe Kit told me that. He said next week it's coming out, multiplayer, consoles, everything. So this has been awesome, man. I'm super excited.
Kit said that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But
that was a secret. Okay, sorry, Kit. Delete the VOD.
So as per release date, my goal is to get my Patreons like in the testing phase. I said summer. I still want to accomplish that. I've already got my top like 5 Patreons testing.
Oh, cool.
So they're actively involved. They're giving me feedback and stuff.
So you hear that, people? Hit up his Patreon. You might be able to get involved in some cool stuff. Wink,
yeah,
wink.
but they pledge a lot. You know, I don't want to, because if I'm like, hey,
he wants you to sell your car.
Let me release this to my Patreons in the state it's in for let's say $25. A lot of people, everybody's gonna buy the game. Everybody's gonna become a Patreon. I don't want that right now. I'm not ready. The game's not ready. Like I want this game to be great when you play it. I want it to be ready.
I respect that.
I don't want it to be like fully fledged. Like I want this game to be out on early access.
Yeah,
because it's an early access game. But when I released Emergent YC on Steam, all you could do was look at a car on a turntable and like open the doors and turn on the lights and play with the siren. That's all you could do. And now it's a full game. You have maps. You can drive around. You can walk around. There's hundreds of emergencies. You can put fires. You can do everything.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to do that with this game. I do want to build this game while people play it, but I'm easing into it slowly. Like I started with like Mo, my community supervisor, because he worked with me in Emergent YC, and he's a great dude. I know I can trust him, and he's never seen the movie. I put him onto the movie and stuff, and he's played it a lot. And then I kind of started looking at my top Patreons, like $200, $150, like those guys, and I was like, hey, thanks for pledging so much. Like you really had no reason to want to pledge that much because you're not gonna play the game right now. Like if they pledged that, they weren't gonna play it. But I was like, hey, I think like out of everybody, you guys deserve to be the first ones to try it, you know. So I added them, and then I kind of want to like ease into it, you know, like top 10 Patreons, top 20, top 30, like because I'm not ready to put this out and get thousands of messages. Like it's rough releasing a game.
Yeah.
And this game is so big right now that I'm not ready to. If I'm gonna release this game, it's gonna be in stages, like slowly, like so I can ease into it. You know?
Yeah, and I think, and something I've touched on in one of my previous videos is like games these days coming out unfinished. I think we're all tired of it, and I think people really just want that feeling like we did back in the day of a game comes out, it's worked on well, like they played it before it came out, they tested it before it came out, and it's like to the artist's standards. It's not to the whoever's on the marketing team's standards, you know. So I think we're all like, we're super excited, but don't feel pressure. And if you're out there pressuring Raf, please don't, because this takes a lot of time and work, and what he's doing is really awesome. And I think we're all waiting patiently, and we will be here. Absolutely.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, man, yeah, I miss those like Nintendo 64 days.
Yeah.
Like there's no updates. Like you get a cartridge and that's the game.
Yep. And then the bugs that were in it, and they were
Yeah,
sick,
like,
but not
and
many.
you could speedrun the game in 30 seconds. 'cause you found this bug.
Yeah.
But I think that introducing early access, the ability to early access a game the way Steam has, one is incredible. Like it's such a great thing because one, you can get the community involved and the development of a game that back in the day, like they had zero input on. Like you get what you get and that's it, you know. But allowing the players to also play the game early, like as a gamer, you see a game that's super cool and you're like, oh, it's in early access, that's cool. And all early access is saying, hey, this game's a work in progress. It might not be perfect. You might run into issues. It's being worked on all the time. Like new stuff happens, and that's how I want this game to always be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm never gonna stop working on Emerge NYC. Like it's been 6 years that game has been on Steam, and I still update it constantly.
That's awesome.
And like I plan to do the same with this game because like you always get new ideas, you always get new feedback and suggestions and stuff that's like really cool, and you're learning constantly, so you know you can do these things.
There's a question I see a lot in my chat. I definitely want to have it answered. They keep asking, and it's just, will the Uberpods command idle tripods?
Right now the Uberpods don't do anything differently than the regular ones. Like they don't command them. Maybe, you know, it just depends. Like those are things like I don't feel like you'll notice if I do. Like obviously if there's like 3 tripods walking around wandering and the Uberpod sees something and hits the horn, they're all gonna come and like help them. But like other than that, like what are you commanding, you know?
Yeah.
Is the over there, like we can't understand tripod language.
Yeah. I guess that answers the question of, can only the Uberpods sound a horn, or can any of them?
No, they all have horns, but the Uberpod are different. Another question a lot of people have is like, is the sounds from the last video final? No, because like I said, everything's changing.
Yeah.
Especially when like I hear a lot of people be like, hey, I didn't like how this came out. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, deal with it, you know. Like if I think it's satisfactory and I'm happy with it, then I'm gonna keep it. If I feel like fully like I stand behind it, then yeah. But a lot of the things like the horns are being worked on still. Like we were working on different ones today, and they sound really cool. Like I'll show them in the next video. But like a lot of people like the heat ray and all that sounds like, is that final? No, like it's not gonna be final until I'm happy with it and the majority of the community is happy with it.
So kind of a 2-in-1. What these Uberpods and the different kinds of Uberpods, will they be coming out through different days? Like will there be different thresholds, like once you hit day 2 then Uberpods will show up on something like that, or different kinds of tripods? And also, can you ever play as a tripod? Is that a possible game mode or something?
Yeah, so that is how it works right now. In the first day, only the regular tripods with the heat rays spawn. Because that's the day they're kind of, you know, mass destruction day. And then day 2 is when Uberpods and the other types of tripods will spawn, which is like the harvesters and stuff. Nice. So basically after day 2, like those spawn more than the regular one. Yeah. But the Uberpod has the heat rays, so it's still, you know, you still have to watch out for that. But it's like now it's a heat ray tripod, but twice as big with a lot more lights and stuff.
Now, I know you have tons and tons of things that you could always add to this game, but I just had the thought, as the days go on and like the harvesters come out, will you see less and less NPCs? Is that a thought?
Yeah, so the way I have it right now is I basically placed like 200 NPCs on the map, and they're always on, so they're always there and doing stuff. Where like other games, you know, they'll unspawn if you leave the area and stuff. So like as of now, by day 3 and day 4 you start to see really less NPCs because they've all either died or went to the edge of the map and run away. But I've noticed that it's really bad on the performance to do that. So I'm working on doing a dynamic spawn system
Okay.
like the other games do, because the reason they do it is because it's
Yeah, it saves resources, right?
AI is one of the more like performant costing things in games. So it's like it's not a good idea to have 200 of them all the time. So what I want to do is like have these spawn areas, like let's say the city, this town, this area, and then if you or a tripod enters it, then NPCs will spawn. So that way you still get that
Okay.
effect of like tripod in the distant enters the city, you still see it tearing shit up.
Yeah.
The NPCs are there. And then another thing was like one thing I did one night, since the AI were persistent, was like I found this little kid wandering by himself, and I named him Carl, and we followed him for like an hour, like his whole, and we made him a story, and it was great. It was like watching a movie. I thought that was so cool to be able to like have this AI that's always there, and like just follow them until he died. You know,
that's really cool.
Like we got invested in this little.
Yeah. Now, with that said,
the idea of the persistent AI, I had to figure out how to do it where it doesn't tank your PC.
Yeah, can we get some Rip Carls in the chat?
Yeah, everybody knows Carl. If you're in Discord, you know Carl.
I love it. With that said, do you think there will be? Can you see there being future interactions with NPCs that might be more engaging?
Yeah, so that's something I already started on since the last video you guys saw. Even before then, I was working on the new AI NPCs. Because like a lot of people were like, this game looks like PS2 graphics, like needs detail and grass and stuff. So like when I did the environmental update, I kind of addressed that issue. But another big thing people were saying was like the NPCs look super basic, and they were. It's like all they do is run away and wander. So I had been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption, which is like my favorite game. If you've never played Red Dead Redemption 2, greatest game ever made in terms of like, when I see it as a game developer, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like the amount of work and time, like, and all these details and different like ways that your story can go. And like for one mission, they had to film like or do all the motion capture and recording and everything for like 8 different outcomes. You know, it's crazy. I'm just like, I can't fathom that stuff. So I was like, I really want my NPCs to feel like you can interact with them, and like, so I have those options like greet and have dialogue with them, and you can rob them, you can tell them to follow you, or like
cool.
They can be like, hey, I don't know you, I'm not gonna follow you, or they can be like, all right, or they have their own needs, and they have their own you know, goals to do. Before it was like they walk around and run away if a tripod gets close, but now like when they spawn, like if they need resources, they're gonna go loot something. If they get really desperate is when they'll start to try to like rob you or kill someone for resources. And then like they have evacuation points courtesy of Kit. He recommended that. Was like have the NPCs have like a place to go, like not just stand there or wander around, like evacuation zones like the ferry or the tunnels, or like military points, like places they'll be safe. You know, they're not going to be walking around the city in the middle of the invasion. So things like that to give them life, that when you go and spectate the NPCs like Carl, it'll feel a lot more believable because they're actually surviving.
Yeah. And it kind of like the gameplay kind of brings me to this other question that actually Jeff Bezos asked. Thanks for being here, Jeff. Appreciate it. Just about the core gameplay loop of the game. The Jeff Bezos in chat. So I know you have like health, food, water, and sleep, and what is essentially the core gameplay of this, and like how would sleeping work, or what do you say to this?
So obviously, like if you are starving, like you have no hunger left, then you're gonna start losing health over time. You don't want that. 2, like if you start losing your thirst, you're not gonna be able to run, which is important in this game. And you're also gonna start losing health slowly. So that's stuff you have to address. And the energy is basically, say you're running everywhere, like you're gonna get tired and you're gonna get thirst, like all that's affected. by like what you're doing. If you're just sitting at the house, like your resources will diminish, but not like if you're like running everywhere. So if you run out of energy, you'll fall asleep where you're standing, and that means like if you're running in the woods and you fall asleep, like things will happen randomly. Like if you like random wake up events, like you could have a probe in your face or have a tripod standing over you or have like an alien poking you or something, you know. Just like that's why you don't want to fall asleep unless you're inside or like on a bed, because if you're outside and you fall asleep, like you're basically fresh meat for the aliens.
Now, would that lead to like an end game screen, or would that just be like a reset?
A lot of people were like, "Why are you ragdolling when you get hit by the heat rays?" And I was like, "That's true." So I just made it like when you get heat rays, like the screen goes black and it goes mute, like if you die, you know. And I'm like, "What else? How else are you gonna do it?" You know, like maybe add like the sound of like ringing in your ears or something. But like even then, when you're dead, you don't hear that. If you get vaporized, you don't hear anything. You don't see anything. You know.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to figure out, you know, the end game screen should be what you see when you're dead, which is you don't hear anything and you don't see anything. All it says is like return to main menu. But like if anybody has better ideas, I just want this to feel like immersive and feel real. So like before, when you get heat rage, you see your character go flying. You're still in first person, like you see everything still happening, and hear everything, and you're just like dead, you know.
Yeah. Someone keeps asking. Barney keeps asking about will there be military convoys like the movie? And from the gameplay I've seen, we have military. I don't know if they mean anything more.
So they don't drive around right now. I might add that.
Okay.
Like they don't drive around like to points. Like they drive when they see a tripod, they'll drive towards it and like,
Okay.
do their thing. But you have a lot of moments where you're in between the military and a tripod, and you see them driving by. And I've had that in a couple videos where it feels like that convoy scene, and then you're suddenly thrown in the middle of this like firefight between the aliens and the military. And so yeah, it's like yes and no. There's no convoys that drive around yet.
Mm-hmm.
I might do that. I don't know. But they drive around and you see things similar happen.
And so yeah, that actually brings up a interesting idea or a question, at least that I would have, is, you know, we start seeing new tripods show up. The world starts changing. Red weed starts showing up. Buildings are destroyed. Forests go down. Like, I guess this person may be leaning towards also the thought of like, yeah, would there be military bases starting to show up, and like you start having this real end of the world kind of feeling where there's just kind of almost military and aliens left towards the end.
I've had the idea and I've heard it a lot, but when you're playing the game, shit hits the fan like really fast.
Okay.
Like there's no time to set up like a military base. By the time you're like getting set up, if you were the military, like it would have already been destroyed by the aliens, because they move fast and they cover the map fast. Like at first it's one and it'll come around like every now and then, but like by day 2 and 3, like you have a lot of them around, and no military, unless the military base is like underground or something, or like out of sight. But like you're not gonna find one in the field open, like because you know it's gonna get. I might have like a destroyed battlefield with like leftover weapons and stuff that you might be able to pick up, but just I don't see the purpose in having a full built battle or military base that showed up overnight, you know, because it's military invasion.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to me, honestly.
Yeah. Chat, I have an idea. I have a question. I need you to remind me. It's about shields when I ask you. Someone in chat keeps asking about playing as a tripod. I think I asked this earlier, but what was your answer to that?
I forgot to answer. Yeah, I've already started work on the tripod controller. It's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
I haven't really like
nice.
I haven't really finished it, or I'm like 20%, 30% with it. But it is gonna have to, like, you'll be able to. What kind of game would this be if you couldn't play as the alien? So that's a big part of the multiplayer. You'll have the one game mode where everybody's a human. So like they're either with you or against you. And then the other one is extermination, where you have team aliens and team humans. So
that's like, so cool.
you got to try to outlast aliens, and the aliens want to exterminate you. So yeah, that'll be a really cool game mode. So your friends can hunt you down, and you can try to outlast your friends.
Yeah. Now, I want to transition really quick to some serious questions, and they're going to be rapid fire.
All right, speed.
So you ready?
Yeah, I'm
And
ready.
if you answer correctly,
I'll do like 1 to 2 sentence answers.
if you answer correctly, yeah, they're going to be. I don't have a ton, but if you answer correctly, you'll get some points.
Is the right answer?
Maybe, maybe not.
Right,
So, what's your favorite color?
red.
If you could be an animal, what animal would you be?
A bird.
What's your favorite childhood cartoon?
SpongeBob.
Who would win in a fight, King Kong or Godzilla?
Aren't there like 6 movies about this? I don't think I've seen. In my opinion, Godzilla.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Do you put the milk in or the cereal first?
The cereal.
All right, we can trust him. That's it. That's all for the rapid fire questions.
I'm not a psycho because of the psychic thing.
I didn't have honestly, I like wrote them up super quick before we got in a call. I was like, I need some fun things here. But good job.
Know if I'm crazy, make sure I'm not like.
Yeah, honestly, the first few questions were just like a ruse. It was all really about the last question, and you answered it correctly. So, claps in chat. He gets to win. What does he win? I don't know. I didn't speak with my PR rep about how much money we can spend here on this first Q&A ever. My love and affection. There we go. You win all of our love and affection, which just pile it on even more.
That was great.
Chat, what was I supposed to ask him about earlier? I said
shields.
something. Okay, shields. Yes. Is there an indication like that the shields are down? How long does it take? I think I had a little bit more, but if you just start with them.
Yeah, so like the movie, you'll be able to tell when they're getting sick.
Oh,
by
cool.
The way that they're moving and like you'll see like the lights kind of like dimming in and out. They'll be stumbling around. Like you'll see the birds sitting on their heads, not flying over, but like.
Okay.
You'll be able to tell, and yeah, basically after like day 5, they start to act up weird, and then after a certain amount of time, if you don't take them down, they start to fall over and die themselves.
Oh, okay. Could you? Something else I really do want to ask before I get there. Someone in chat asked. I keep seeing this. Mel asked, "Will there be HUD for the tanks and tripods?" I believe someone else has been asking this too.
Yeah, there'll be the tanks was a big thing. I showed gameplay of the tanks, which is it's already in the game that you can control them. But a lot of people are like, take that out because like no civilian's gonna know how to operate a tank and stuff. So it's there. All I have to do is activate it if people want it. But right now, it seems like people didn't really like that idea because there's another World of the Worlds game called Interlakes, which is in development. Allegedly, I don't know. I haven't seen any new
phonies
in like a year. No, I mean, what they've done is impressive. Not gonna lie. Like as a developer, like they show what they're doing. And it seems like everything they're doing is like theirs, which is cool. And but like I said, like I don't know what happened. Maybe I scared them off, which I hope not, because it's nice to have competition because it drives you to want to do better and be better.
Yeah.
But like they really were inspiring to me when I started because I was like, I can do that, and I feel like I can do it better.
Yeah, it's awesome to have that confidence in yourself and know how much you believe in yourself. So. Also, that was also Bartek who also was asking that question a lot. They were asking a lot, and I definitely wanted to give them a shout out. So thanks for being active in chat, guys. I appreciate it. Yes,
Bransford said that he talked to those guys and that they're still in full development. So that's true. That's cool. I hope the best for them. There was one question I had said that earlier that I saw that I wanted to answer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's very important, especially as a solo developer and a game developer in general, because I don't know if people understand like what we do and like what we deal with. But his question was, Nathan Pace asked, all I have to ask is, which is it's nice for him to ask. He said, how goes mental state of the development? Is everyone involved doing okay? I know that stressing over this kind of stuff can be hard to avoid, so it's always good to make sure. So
I saw that question too. That was really awesome.
Yeah, I had a lot of mental health, not mental health. Like I'm not psychotic. I passed
hey, bro, it's okay. Right? We all deal with a lot of shit.
Yeah, I had a lot of. I was, I was getting super stressed and burnt out and depressed and just like super hypercritical about my stuff. And you read what people say about you on the internet and about your game and like your hard work. It gets to you, which is a big reason that I'm like fully like into it right now.
Yeah.
Because the game is in a point where I still have full control over it. Like people can't say anything until they play it, So I want when they play it that it's good.
Yeah.
It's acceptable. Like I don't want to put this game out early and deal with the consequences, because at the end of the day it's me and me. Like when I release this game, I have to do all the customer support. I have to do all the bug fixing. Like it's when you release a game is when that stuff really gets bad, or when you have deadlines and stuff. One time I was on a live stream developing my other game and had like 100 people watching, and I had a meltdown. Like I had been streaming for like 8 hours, and I had been up for like 32 hours or something working on. I had a deadline, and I was like, people were like, when's the game coming out? When's the update? There's an update I was going to release. And like, what's the update? And I was like, here, I'll stream so you guys can see that I'm working on it. But I had been up for like 3 days, like really, like anytime I was getting tired, I would like drink coffee or take a Adderall. And then I just was so like, what happened was I had been working for like 2 hours on something, and then Unity crashed. And I lost all that progress. And then I started doing it again, and Unity crashed again, and that's when I had the meltdown. Like, I broke my keyboard, I broke a mirror. Like, I never do that. It happens. I'm not like that. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but like that was a meltdown. Like, and after that, I really look at what I do in a different way, to where I try not to like get to that point anymore.
Yeah.
Because no, like if you have a deadline and you're not gonna hit it, like don't kill yourself trying to do it. Yeah. I started to tell people that like, you have to understand, like I might have said this like 8 months ago, but like stuff happens and it might not be like right on time. And it's the nature of the job. Like if you're an indie developer, like even the big AAA companies, they have this issue all the time. They're delaying games, or things aren't ready in time. Like it's the same for us indie developers. Like it's even worse for us because we're the only ones like in charge of this stuff, or responsible for this stuff that needs to get done. So like when I start this game and I'm like, hey, in this time it's gonna be done, like you can underestimate easily, because you either undershoot what you want to do with this idea, or you overdo it in the end. But my mental state right now, I'm happy. I'm in a super happy relationship right now, like with the girl of my dreams.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, I got
my dream. She's actually in the chat right now.
Oh, what's up?
And I also have my dream job right around the corner that I've been, working super hard for like my whole life. I've got this game, like so much potential, like something I love to work on, something I'm super passionate about. So I wake up and I wake up happy that I get to work on this game. Like I dream about this game, like it how to fix bugs or like new ideas and how to put them in. Like it just shows like how much I want to do this stuff. So I'm happy when I do it. But what I dread is like having to start to like get to the point of release. Like I'm gonna have to definitely like outsource. Like, all right, I need you guys to be my customer support people, or like handle people, and all I do is like fix bugs that I reported and stuff, but like I need somebody to deal with the people because it gets overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sure.
I love all the support right now. Like I'm loving it because it keeps me motivated and going and know I'm doing something right. But it's really easy when like you put out your hard work and it might not be because I'm not gonna lie, when I put out Emerge NYC, like it wasn't the best game ever because I was like my first game, I had zero experience. Like, you know, I learned all this stuff, like I've been through it, so I want to do things right this time, and I don't want to relive through all that stuff again.
Yeah, well,
The gaming community, while with this game, I've noticed very, very minimal toxicity. Like, it gets toxic real fast as a developer. Like, a lot of developers deal with really toxic people that like I had people come after me, like personally, like leaving Steam reviews on Steam with my game, like about me personally as a person, and like saying all these things about me. Like it's like it's not that's when it gets like to an issue.
Yeah.
When people start getting like that.
Yeah.
But I want to make a great game. I don't want me to be known for the game. I just want the game to speak for itself, you know.
Yeah. And something that has helped me handle some of those things in life, and this might be like a cheesy saying or whatever, but you know, people out there are hurtful and it's real. And I just look at it as if someone's trying to pull you down, they're already below you. So it's like, I could care about your opinion, but you're just hating. So I don't. Like, you're not adding anything of value. Like, I love connecting with people and boosting and connecting and promoting people like you who are actually adding something to the world that gives people joy. So like, let's highlight that. Let's show attention to that. So I applaud you for the work you're doing, and I know we all definitely do. And I hope that everyone continues to be patient and excited as we watch this game develop. I did have another question I didn't want to forget about, and I've seen some people ask it in chat, is a third person mode. I think someone commented on one of my videos and asked if there would be a third person mode because it can be super cinematic, and I totally agree. Is that in the works?
For your character, I don't have that plan. One, because that involves like a lot of change to the code and like how everything works. In my other game, Emerge NYC, I'm not trying to like shamelessly plug or anything. I'm just saying like
you got two more, and then you're out of here. And then, how you dare you come on to my little 1,000 sub channel? And no, it's cool, man.
So in that game I had first and third person, but it kind of like didn't work well. Like it made it really weird, and it wasn't like Grand Theft Auto where it's like nice, you know, cool. It was rough, but I'd rather just stick to like first person for the character. For the cars and the tripod, there are third person cameras, and like if you want a spectate mode, well, see, I'm still on the fence about spectate mode, because I'd rather have that something you can do after you die or in just a separate game mode completely. Because like you can't, it's like cheating if you can spectate mode, you know. You can go look out what's outside your house. You know, you want to keep the player like feeling like the game's difficult. Like you don't want to give them these things that can make it so much easier or less scary, you know. So I'd rather that be something after you die, or like have like a cinematic game mode where you just watch shit unfold and like fly around and get cool
that like a
shots
sandbox kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
There's how you doing? Because I still have some questions. If you're still good,
I could go as long as you want. Like,
okay.
I still have a lot of questions that I have the people
I know
posted today, and we can do like speed rounds for those, and then I just want to like look at some of the videos I posted. And we can talk about little things there.
This is great. Again, thank you everybody for being here. Truly, this is like really awesome for me. We brought in 1,000 subs on my channel during this live stream, so I appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribe to Raf at War of the Worlds. What are you doing? Get over there. Subscribe. Check out his Patreon. Check out his games on Steam. Wishlist it. Yeah. So with what we just talked about with the sandbox kind of mentality, and someone asked, I think I already lost it, but will there be like a true sandbox mode where you can say like, I want this many tripods, or I want this kind of tripod, or things like that? And also, something I actually can't believe I didn't think to ask until now, how big is the map? How big is this world? And is it one persistent world, or are you going to think about, or do you have like, what's the generation like in 7 Days to Die? Procedural. Yeah. So that was a lot, but...
No, it's so good. So I'll start with the map. Right now, the map is 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers, which is pretty big, especially when you're on foot 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But like, if you know now, I added horses and bikes, which helps a lot.
Nice.
But yeah, basically when I was doing the environmental upgrade stuff, like the vegetation and all that, I was on the fence about doing a new map completely and making it like a lot bigger, because I had found a lot of cool tools. Like I had never really messed with level design to this extent, to like create their own terrain and like place all the vegetation and the trees and the roads and all that. Like one of the maps in Emerge NYC is like the bare bones of the map in this game.
Okay.
It's the same map that I had dragged the tripod in the very first day.
Okay, nice.
All the buildings have changed. There's like so many more buildings and environments, and everything is different. It's like you wouldn't recognize it now. But,
how dare you make your life easier by copying and pasting?
It's at this point like you wouldn't be able to tell the same map. But procedural generation is something I have zero experience with, but I was convinced I wanted to pursue it until I was like, all right, how do you do roads procedurally generated and still make like cool little towns and cities that like have character to them, you know? Like that's just beyond me right now as a developer. So I'd rather just keep it like a big map that has everything the player would need, and make it have, you know, character and life to it, you know? Because with procedural generation, 7 Days to Die is really cool in the way that you have these maps that are generated like that. But notice how lifeless they seem, and like how dead it is. You know, it's just you can't recreate that with a procedural map. To me, like I wouldn't be able to do it at least.
That's something I can definitely appreciate about games that have actual set pieces. So it seems like you're the type of guy who would want to make really cinematic set pieces that are like, you know, persistent, that are there, and there would just be so much more character. But I totally agree with what you're saying. Like certain procedural worlds in certain games that you play can just feel kind of dead, because it's like, oh, like this just kind of randomly showed up here and it's not really that interesting, and it kind of looks like every other part of the map that I could go to. So yeah, if you're making like set pieces and like set locations, even if the map is super big, I think it would be neat.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is at any time I can add on to the map. Like I can expand in any direction.
Yeah. And then you can always DLC. Say, hey, you want that new map pack?
I don't do DLC. Like in my other game, there was never like a DLC or paid update. Like everything is huge updates. Where I'll just like, if you play the game in the beginning, why wouldn't you get all this cool stuff? You know. So like I'm never gonna be like DLC this, DLC. Like, I don't
protect this man at all costs, chat.
I don't do like. I wouldn't do the pay to win stuff or like the loot boxes and all. Like I'm not that type. One, I like don't have I can't be bothered to do that stuff, and then two, like I'm against that stuff. So like, why would I do it?
Yeah. You know? 17K Alex. So yeah, I think there will be. I think he's saying there will be more maps in the future, or you know,
maybe I don't know. Expand. It depends, but I mean, the map is gonna get bigger. It'll have like cities, it'll have towns, it has farm areas, it has wilderness, it has like rivers and nature and lakes, and so it's got everything you would need. So there's no reason to like make different maps. It's better to just have everything in one big map. Like,
yeah.
A new map, like just add on to the current map. You know.
Mo said he will protect, so that's good. You got a real one by your side.
I want to speed run just real quick through like some of my questions.
Okay.
I just don't want my guys to feel like neglected.
Oh, I appreciate it. If there, could I just ask you one more? There's a guy who keeps spamming me. Hamad, if you're still here in chat, so it seems like you really want this to be intense and to be like dangerous. Hamad is asking if the tripods could be a little less accurate, potentially, like shooting things around you or buildings as opposed to just nailing you as soon as they see you.
Yeah, I heard that suggestion somewhere else as well, and I really liked it. Like in the intersection scene where everything around Tom Cruise is getting, zapped and and like if you watch the intersection scene that I did on my channel, like it's the same thing. Like everybody and everything around you is getting blown up. But that's just how it is on the intersection scene. Like if the tripod sees you, like it's gonna kill you. And outside of the scene. But I do want to make it so like, if you're running with the crowd of people, like they'll all get zapped first. Or like it's random at this point.
Okay.
But like right now, if you're the only thing the tripod sees, it's not gonna miss.
Okay. Yeah, because I
make it like blow up trees around you real quick before it kills you, and then kind of just to scare you up a little bit.
Yeah, because I was super surprised in one of your videos when you were driving a car. I don't know if you saw my reaction to it, but like you just got beamed. I was like, oh shoot! Like, so
if these tripods can, if these aliens can do all this shit, like why wouldn't they have?
Yeah. It makes sense, and like as I said,
make it better. Like people said, make it like kind of like go into the car slowly instead of like straight through the window like first try.
Yeah, like I could imagine a really quick kill time, but just a little bit more cinematic, where it's like, oh, maybe I have a chance, like to jump out of my car or to swerve real quick. But I still agreed with your approach of let's make it scary and hard first, and we can always like, scale things back, and instead of it being like, oh, this is too easy and boring. And
yeah, I mean, this whole game has been like a balance for me, because in the beginning, like it was easy, there was no threat. Once I added the AI, I was like, okay, this is cool. It got to a point where I made the AI like so good that they were like, it was really hard. Like I couldn't even get past day one, so I had to kind of make it a little less difficult. But they're at a point now I like it. They're super aggressive and stuff, but they're also not like OP. Like they won't spot you from across the map,
Yeah.
Like they used to. You could get aimbotted through, like you'd be in a house and they would kill you through the house. All right, so I'll
you said you had a few
questions. I'll do them real quick. I'll do the top questions that got.
Community.
All right, so first one: would the aliens inside the tripods ever walk around through villages and into random buildings on patrol, or only searching for the player in the houses? So if you don't know, the aliens will come out of the machines, and they will search around, not just for you, but for anything or anybody. So all that will be random. It's not, the world doesn't revolve around you in this game, so you don't have to be in a house for it to get probed or get searched. You might just happen to be in a house when it does, and it sucks to be you. So the next question is, are you going to show the interior of a tripod? Probably not. One, because I don't feel like it's my duty, or like I don't even feel like I should be the one to like imagine. There's concept art online, but I don't like the idea of it. Like I don't like how they did it, and I feel like that's why they didn't include it in the movie. But for me, I think if once you get dragged up by the tentacle, like into the
cages.
Yeah, when you're in the cage and it pulls you up into the machine.
Into the scroties.
Yeah. I don't know what to call that thing, man. It looks like a booty hole. But once you get dragged in there, I think of making it look like you're underwater and like like orange water with like bubbles and stuff. Maybe you kind of see the aliens like in there looking at you. But that's I'm not gonna make it like an open space where you can walk around. It's like no, because then I think you're just gonna drown or get whatever happens.
Oh man, yeah, I can't even imagine the amount of like details and programming you'd have to do to like, program the inside of the tripod head and then give the player like make sure they can't glitch out or any bugs.
Yeah,
I don't know, like that just seems like a whole mini game, which would be really cool, but you know, that's pretty far.
Yeah, so no, there won't be an interior of the tripod like that. Nothing is out of the question, but I don't want to do it, and I probably won't. Will multiplayer have a voice chat that the tripods can hear, or is it too difficult to implement? Well, one,
this is on your community post from 9 hours ago. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the tripods. I added a feature where the tripods can hear your mic input, and it's already in the game.
Yes. Yes, I was literally gonna ask you about that.
That was a suggestion a lot by the community.
Let's go.
And I thought it was a good idea, but then I started to play the game with that, and it got really frustrating. So I added an option to enable it or disable it.
Okay, cool.
Because I'd be like live streaming to Patreons, and I'd be talking to them, and then I'd get they heard me. You'd hear the tripod walking near you, and I'd be whispering, and then it would stop and like get quiet, and then I'd die. And multiplayer, yeah, it will be the same thing. You can talk, and it will be proximity based. So like,
nice.
You have to be careful like that. Here's another question: are there plans for the game to incorporate the military fight back once the shields are down? Yeah, somebody's got to take them down, you know. So I'll probably have like reinforcements come in, but by the second day, like the tripods have already wiped out all the military squads on the map. So
will you be able to use military weapons? Like if you went up to them, can you grab one or? Yeah. Oh, really?
So
nice.
You'll be able to like use a rocket launcher or something. But I'm like, if you can't use the tank to take them down, then at least you can use a bazooka or something.
Nice.
And there are grenades. So if you have a grenade in your inventory when you get sucked into the tripod, then it's kind of like a totem, like a totem of whatever, undying on Minecraft. Where if you have it in your inventory and you die, then except it only works on the cage, it doesn't work for anything else. But it's kind of like a second chance card, and then it'll blow up that tripod. I haven't fully implemented that yet, but that is how it's going to work. So a lot of people are like, can you take down the machines before the shields go down or something? That's one of the ways. I don't know if I'm going to make any other ways, but I'm not opposed to the idea, but I still don't like I want these machines to be like scary because they're like you can't do anything about them, like they're there. Is there an item or a menu in which you can view the map? I haven't added a map yet because I obviously haven't finished it, but there will be something. I probably want to make it like instead of something you can open all the time, I'll probably make it like something you can find. Because I do like you not knowing like where you are or what's around you. Like I'd rather be walk in a direction and see what you find.
Yeah, I had some ideas and I was like, you know what? I like it just being immersive. Like, I thought about like the idea of like proximity chat or even having a noise meter for running, like showing and like almost maybe showing like how far that noise would go. It's something like in Valorant, it's really cool. If you run, it shows a circle of how far that sound can be heard. And
yeah, that's like that would be on like the mini map, right?
Yeah, but then it was like, you know what? That's too like that's too modern.
Telling, like,
you know,
it's just telling you too much. Like you should know. Like the game will teach you really quick if you're being too loud, and you'll learn.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Can we ever kill the tripods? Oh yeah. Can we hijack one? No. Can we steal one to fight the aliens? No. Will there be ability to build underground, or will we be permanently using pre-generated cover? No, you can't build. Like you can't like dig. It's not Minecraft. But there will be bunkers and underground shelters and stuff that you can find. Now, people might say like, "Oh, that's OP," but you know, if you're gonna go in there, you better have all the resources you'll need because you know you can't be in there the whole game, or else you're gonna starve or die of thirst or something.
And I guess another thought I'm gonna add on with that is, and I think some people in chat have asked this, and I'm sure we're all very curious about this, but the aliens themselves, are they gonna come out and walk around and look
Yeah,
in
I
places
mentioned
like
that.
that where the tripods can't get to.
Oh, you mean like the bunkers and stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah. So there's like, yeah, I do. Yeah, because you can't you can't be invincible like that, just hiding in a bunker. Like there has to be some sort of threat, whether it's aliens or people who want that spot, and they come in and try to steal it from you. So like that's a big question. Like the NPCs are also a threat, and there's also nature and wildlife like wolves and bears that can kill you.
Yes, I was also going to ask about wildlife. Let's go.
Yeah, so that's something I started working on. I already put the wolves in, so if you're a patron, you've seen me get attacked by a wolf. But
this game's gonna be terrifying, Raph.
I want you to always feel in danger.
I love it. I love it.
There's not a tripod around. Like I want you to always be like, is somebody following me, or does somebody want to rob me? If you're driving a car, like if you come across people, like they're gonna try to take the car from you. If you're in the nature, like yeah, you might be alone, but like is there a bear? Is there a wolf? Like things like that, and you can hunt. You can.
Oh man.
You can place like a campfire and a sleeping bag and stuff.
Now I'm just imagining like you finally just made it to a safe spot. You miraculously escaped a giant tripod, killing tons of people in the street. You find some like cabin or some tent in the woods. It's nighttime, and then all of a sudden you hear this growling. Like
you're not safe.
I'd be like, bro, come on, give me a break. But that would be so great. And then I'm just excited for the moments this game's gonna yield. You're doing great stuff, but keep going.
Yeah, I mean that's why I say like I really want to do it right so that like people can have these moments and enjoy them and feel immersed and not be being bothered by like performance or like bugs and stuff like that. Because like those are the things that will take you out of that moment that you should be in like a really cool immersive experience. But then you see like a floating object and that like completely takes you out of it, you know? Or like you have a bug that ruins your whole game. Like it's like those are the things that I want to make sure are like ironed out.
Yeah. Someone in chat asked, and I kind of asked something like this earlier, but like Barney asked, at the end of the last few days, will there just be infantry like doing guerrilla warfare?
It means like civilians or
yeah, I think that's kind of what they're talking about, which would be
like
interesting.
I think it's Guerilla, like GUE, not Gorilla. He put Guerilla like unless he means like if I have Guerilla NPCs and they kill each other.
Yeah, like the gorillas realize they need to evolve very quickly.
This is a spin-off for Planet of the Apes, and then
This is the missing link that ties these stories together that no one knows about.
Now I can merge two movies into one game.
Chat, you heard it here. Next game, secret project is going to be Guerrilla Warfare.
Guerrilla Warfare with an O.
That way no one can copyright it, right?
Or
but I think it's an interesting idea, but it also makes me think like further ahead, again talking about like NPC AI progressing. Do you think there would be a chance to see more like bandits or groups of NPCs that are more hostile, that would be fighting like military or other NPCs as the days get toward the chaotic end?
Yeah, so hostile NPCs are likely to come in groups. They don't have to, but it's likely that there won't just be one of them. One, because that's how it is in movies and shows. I don't know if the apocalypse happened, if there would be like evil groups of people. I'm sure there would, but you can't really tell. But yeah, they'll come in groups and they'll come alone. Like it's random. And same with like people evacuating and fleeing. Like might be a family. It might be like one person. It might be like a group of people. They can be armed and they can be friendly or hostile. Just you never know.
Oh, that's another interesting dynamic. Like, say there's a group of armed individuals that are a little rough. You could chance taking them on and trying to get their gear, which could be very interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
So many possible dynamics to this game.
Yeah, and it's like there's no limit, you know. Like I'm at a point where I feel like I can do anything.
It's exciting.
Procedural maps.
other than procedural. Okay, so chat, we got that clear, right? So anything under the sun except for procedural generation. So,
but it's cool. Like I'll see a suggestion. I'm like, in my head, I think about how I would do it in like 5 minutes, and then I'm like, right, I can do that.
No, it's exciting. And
I
know
like 5 more questions. Go ahead.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
All right. Let's see. Will you be able to utilize motor vehicles? Yes. But you'll have to find parts when looting. It's probably gonna be like a solenoid, like it was in the movie. Like that's what he had to change for the car to turn on.
I know.
So like if you find one of those and you put it in the car, then it'll turn on. Will bows be in the game? Yes, for hunting and for not having to shoot, and crossbows as well. Will you add law enforcement trying to help evacuate the civilians? No. If anything, it would be military.
Yeah.
But there won't be cops. There's a police station that you can go and explore and loot, and there's cells and everything. But I feel like law enforcement in real life, like they probably would run away. They'd be the first ones to run away. They'd call the military. No, I'm not. No shame to law enforcement. Love everybody in law enforcement.
Oh, but, yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah.
But like, if this shit went down in real life, I doubt they would stick around and do their jobs. They'd be like, I'm going home to my family.
Yeah.
Whereas the military, like, they don't have a choice. That's what they signed up for. What kind of replayability is there for single player? So I answered this with the yes, if there's going to be like options to change things and stuff. So yeah, there will be the option to kind of customize your experience and free roam. So that will kind of help with people wanting to play the game more. Will there be character customization? We answered that there will be some form of it. What's the game's graphical performance looking like with the new environmental update? If it requires higher end stuff to run, any plans to optimize it? So, I thought it was going to be really bad, but when I tried it in the build, I had 60 frames.
Okay.
But I have a good computer, so I can't really be like, it's gonna run great for everybody. So I'm doing things right now to optimize it, make it still look good, but also like you don't have to render this tree in full detail if you're far away. It can be a 2D version of it. That's like a common thing in games to optimize, and like LEDs and stuff.
I know there's a tactic. I think it started with like the old cartridge games because they had such a small amount of memory. Was to it's like a cone and it only renders what's in the player's view.
Yeah, that's called frustum culling.
Nice.
And then we use that, and we also use occlusion culling, which is, let's say you're looking at a house. It's not going to render what's behind the house because you can't see it.
Oh, cool.
So the game uses the latest and greatest optimization techniques, and it runs good. But right now, the main performance issues are the AI and the IK of the tripods. So those are things I'm kind of focused on in terms of performance. I wouldn't say the vegetation isn't. If anything, the new grass rendering we use runs better than Unity's default one, which we were using.
Oh,
and it
cool.
can render a lot more grass.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's and there will be plenty of options in the graphic settings to lower things if you don't need them or if you want to gain extra frames. So things like view distance and LOD distance and texture quality and shadows. And
with the talk about terrain and foliage, how do tripods detect you? And I'm sure we could imagine, but like also like if you're in a bush, is that enough to hide you?
So right now the grass and bushes don't hide you. It's something that I do want to do, but like I would imagine that the tripods have some sort of like thermal camera, like they would be able to see you if you're laying in the grass. Like I don't know. But it's not hard to add like a collider to a bush and be like, hey. The way the tripod spot you is they raycast, which is basically they shoot a ray from their spotlight towards you, and if there's nothing in between that ray, like for example a tree is an obstacle, a building wall is an obstacle, like solid things between you and that raycast are gonna hide you. But if a bush doesn't have collider, then it's not gonna stop the raycast. So, and it's like, I don't know how I would give grass a collider to block raycast. Just off the top of it, like I could give grass a trigger that says like if you're in here and you're prone, then take you out of visibility. But that would mean I have like thousands of triggers across the map just for that reason, and that would add up and just I don't know. Trees will definitely hide you, but like don't take a chance like in a bush or in like laying in the grass. Like you're not gonna. You deserve to die if you think that's gonna work.
I'll just use these blades of grass against these highly intelligent ancient aliens. This'll get them. Speaking of like proning, is there not probing chat? We're not going there. Player mechanics and maneuverability, like can you climb, can you clamber, can you get on roofs of buildings?
There's no climbing yet, and there's no like not even like ladders and stuff. I just haven't put it in, but you know, who's to say there won't be like a parkour update or something?
Yeah. That would be
it's not kind of question, you know, but it would be cool to be able to like hop over fence, because I do like get stuck on fences and stuff a lot, so it'd be nice to be able to jump them.
Melm actually asked manual ammo reloading into magazines. I'm sure you want to be programming like super detailed things like that, but that does remind me. I don't think I really hit on like weapons. I think
that's a feature like a school shooter would want in their game. I want to
maybe
reload ammo
like
one by one into my magazine.
Yeah,
I know how it feels. I'm not gonna feed into that. No. This isn't a shooter game. Like at the end of the day, like you can have guns for defense, but I'm not encouraging people to play this game to go like murder people. Even though I did it one time in a video, but that was just for showcase.
Yeah, but like as far as like how in depth you see weapons being for this game.
They will be high quality. There won't be a wide variety of like attachments and like suppressors and things.
I honestly wouldn't even expect attachments. I just was thinking just straight.
If anything, there's gonna be like a scope for a gun or something, but I'm not gonna do the most for all that stuff.
Yeah.
This isn't like I said, it's not a shooter game. It's like the weapons are there for you to defend yourself or do what you want, but like you adding a suppressor or like a foregrip and all that, like it's not gonna change anything. Like at the end of the day, you're gonna murder somebody with that gun if you wanted to.
I just had another thought. Do things wear down like a bicycle? And maybe you already addressed this in an update, but do things wear down, or do you have to repair certain things?
Right now, there's no like wear and tear. I don't feel like the game is long enough for that.
Okay.
Because like it's like the game is like a week, right? Unless you put endless mode, but I don't feel like I should have to code like all that wear and tear stuff for like somebody who wants to play endless mode. Yeah,
I actually kind of appreciate that. And Imperial Guardsman actually just asked how long are the day and night cycles.
So I'm not gonna answer that because I don't know, because I'm still like tweaking it. Okay. I have it pretty short right now just because like I test the game a lot and I want to be able to do it quickly. But you know, I'd want it to be long because the whole game is gonna be. It's not likely you're gonna do the 7 days. Like it's really like I've never made it past like day 5 or something.
Yo.
So
awesome.
It's just, you know, it'll be a good amount of time, but I don't have a number yet. I'm still like I want to like tweak it, compare like by what people think, and that could always be something that you do in the settings menu. I told you like before the game starts, you can set like how long you want your minute or your time to be, whatever.
I don't think I have Many more questions, and if I do, they might just be like lengthy suggestions, so I can save them for some other time. But I have seen in the chat a few times, and Lobotomy Blues is asking about Easter eggs, and I know we all love Easter eggs, and
I have one that I know is going to be in the game, which is a piece of bread with peanut butter sliding down the window.
Yes,
that's the one that I for sure want to do.
Yes, that's awesome.
I mean, I have the train on fire. I have like, all these other parts from the movie, but that's gonna be like a subtle one, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to pull up like one of the videos and I'll answer like 2 or 3 questions while you do that.
Yeah, let's actually.
We can go over the last one since you haven't done like an official video on it.
Yeah. So this is the old. This is what you were talking about earlier.
I haven't even watched it. This is day 2. I did this in like 40 hours.
Sound is already awesome, man.
That animation is so bad. I literally just took all the audio from the movie and threw it in, like.
Oh, really?
Dubbed it, yeah. That like the new intersection scene doesn't have like everything has its own sound, so it comes together.
Oh, you know what this foot reminds me of? It reminds me of this, my Joby.
Right? I have one of those things too.
Oh yeah, they're cool. But even still, how cool for like...
Just like, this was like, I had the idea, and literally like 48 hours later, this was the... And you can see how much different the tripod looks.
Yeah. Oh, the music. That's actually something someone asked, is who is doing your music?
You know, as a game developer, like, that's probably the one thing you get asked the most is like people wanting to do music for you. I don't have like one person, but I've had people like, oh, I want to do this. Like I have 2 guys right now doing sounds. They both do music as well, but they're doing like the horns and all the other cool sounds. And then I have the investor I told you about, like he does music, so he made the music in the last video I posted, which is going to be the new main menu music.
Okay.
So he said he just made a whole soundtrack, and he hasn't shown me yet, but I'm curious.
Okay.
So yeah, he's doing it right now, but I haven't approved it yet. I have to approve it. I hate that he made a whole soundtrack and then wants me to listen to it. Like I want to we would want it at a time.
Yeah, and you still have a lot of time to shore up like a soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was day 2 of this game.
Man.
And now we can go to the latest video and see the difference.
All right, here we go. We're gonna watch first time seeing.
Yeah, watched this yet?
No, I actually haven't. No.
Really? All right.
I was like trying to get everything done that I needed to get done today and get to this. I just ran out of time. The gym called and
just post a new video on your channel like with this part of the stream.
Yeah, right. Just clip the VOD. So yeah, should I do the whole here?
You can pause it, you can ask me questions, you can say suggestions, and now you get some live commentary with the developer while you watch it. Do you want
to do my intro?
Isn't it like a whole skit you have to do? Like you write skits for the
Oh yeah, I should probably write a skit and do all that work and stuff, huh?
It's usually you versus yourself.
Yeah, that's an ongoing lore now. So.
Another video already? I just made one. I have to do it again.
It's becoming quite a trend. I love it. All right, we're jumping in. I'm down in the corner. It's official. More War of the Worlds content from none other than Raf. Or Raf. Raf, right? Instead of Raph.
Raph.
I say Raph. I think I'm used to saying
Whatever you want.
Raphael from Ninja Turtles. He was a okay.
Yeah, it's Raph.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Oh yes. Oh, look how good this looks. Oh my gosh. Look at how thick this is. I love this, man.
Yeah,
This is
so
awesome.
the new, it uses a new vegetation engine called the vegetation engine, which is
Nice.
like $100 plugin for Unity. Which basically what I did was like I have all these vegetation assets and they're all different in some way, and work different in different ways. But what the vegetation engine does is it allows you to sort of put them all into one system, and they all are affected by the same wind, by the same like if you can easily do snow and red weed with this like. I can change
Oh,
one little slider and it'll change it for all the vegetation. Or I can make like masks, so I can make certain areas look like this. I can do cool stuff with the heat rays and like the trail. And like when you walk through the grass, you can see like the trail you leave. You can see the grass moving. Same with the vehicles and the animals and stuff. So it gives you really cool things you can do with the grass and the vegetation. So you'll notice like the trees moving and swaying in the grass as well. That's all thanks to the new system.
yeah.
And yeah, the GPU rendered grass as well.
Oh
You
yeah.
can see it runs great, and there's like a super thick like. It's not like this all over the map. But in some areas you have thick grass up there.
Yeah, you're really visualizing wind now. It's so nice.
Yeah. So in the storms and the snow, like you can see the trees like blowing
Snow. Oh my gosh! I just realized. Have we seen snow yet? Have I seen snow?
The streamers have, or the stream Patreon
Okay.
people, they've seen it a lot because I show it all the time.
You hear that, chat? Get over to that Patreon.
Yeah.
You're gonna see more than I do right now. Dude, yeah, this is nice. This is so good. You know what you're doing, bro. You know how to make art. Yes. I love it. Okay, you know what? It's so funny is these guys are always so much taller than I think they are.
That tree, I love this shot because I was just playing the game. All these shots where I took like an hour before I was doing a live stream, just test. This was the first time I tested the new vegetation. Like I had placed it all, but I had never like walked around. And I was walking around, I was like, wow, like this all looks so good that like I'm just gonna record and like, edit a little video. And I was so eager to show everybody because it looked so good.
Yeah.
This is my first time actually like walking around the map with the new vegetation. And I came across this house and I saw the birds fly towards the tripod. I don't know if you can see it, but they're there. The birds are flying over the tripod, like swirling above it. And then that tree was there. And I was like, that's perfectly placed. It just gives you like an idea of the scale of the tripod.
Yeah, like
that tree is huge. Like the tree is huge compared to the house, and then you have the tripod behind it.
Like, I know, like that's like
so far away, and it's like that big. You know?
I know. This is why it was such a false sense of size to me. Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, he's like, you know, not as tall. Yeah, okay. Like I am never ever ready for how tall these guys are, and I love it. I love it a lot. I know someone did mention. I did see a comment somewhere. Someone said they wanted the Uberpods to be like even bigger and even taller than they are now.
They're like.
Oh, you updated them?
I had an idea to. In some of the videos, you can see them kind of side by side and see how much bigger they are. Mm-hmm. But they used to be a lot bigger. They used to make the other tripods look like tiny. Because I was like, imagine if they were like huge.
Oh, so you went like Uber.
Yeah, I went Uber, but that was before I saw them next to the regular ones. And then once I saw them with the regular one, I was like, oh, they're way too big. But I thought it was that was massive, like titan of a fucking tripod, like huge.
I'm sure if you ever get like really crazy with like a sandbox mode and you can like manipulate the size of tripods, I'm sure people will just go bonkers. So
yeah,
they'll be like all the way up. Let's make it as big as the map. So
yeah, there's one of the testers found a bug with the items where he could drop all like duplicate items like infinitely.
Oh, nice.
And he built up all the way up to the tripod, and you can tell you can see then how tall it was. Anyways, you can keep on.
Dude, I have to say, like it's shots like this that I know you're an artist. Like you just are through and through. Every time I see clouds, I love them.
You know what's
They
crazy?
look so
It
good.
only took me like a few hours to place all these vegetate. What I did was I made a brush and put 800 something like different vegetation and rocks and bushes and everything.
Oh yeah, look at
and
this.
stuff.
This
And
looks good.
yeah, and you can just paint in areas and it'll randomize what is placed. It'll kind of give it space and stuff. So like I was able to do that, and it all looks great. You know.
Yeah, really
I have
using
to
those
tweak
tools.
a lot of areas like just to clean them up and make them look more believable, but it was really good way to just make the map like look 100 times better like overnight.
Yeah, and even here, this looks really good. I noticed. Yes. Oh my God. Hold on. Wait. You always throw like the next coolest thing in, and I'm like still hung up on the last thing, and it's so good, man. There's always things rolling in that are brilliant. This definitely looks better than the last time I saw daytime. It kind of looked a little like flat, and this like you can just I don't know what it is, if it's occlusion, if that's the term for it, but I'm seeing like the air. I'm feeling more in the world.
Yeah, like volumetric lighting and fog.
Yeah.
So to me, the game always looks different. Like it's the weather, it's the clouds, it's the fog, it's the time of day. It's just like the ambience, like there's smoke in the distance, or like or if there's red weed. Like it just always looks different. So like this was a really beautiful shot, and you'll see it look like this a lot, but it'll also be cloudy some days. It'll be like clear skies some days. It just depends, you know. It's like it's dynamic.
Yeah.
To the environment, like it's always gonna change and look different. So it's not always gonna be blue skies or always gonna be foggy or raining. So that's what I kind of wanted to emphasize in the video.
I know someone.
Every clip is like a different vibe in the air.
Yeah, and I've definitely seen that. Like sometimes you have these like just breathtaking sunsets that feel like they're out of GTA, and then other times it's just totally different. Like those things show up, and you're like, oh wow, like really awesome that you get to see this, and it's cool you're thinking that way. So it's even in that the game isn't going to feel stale. Like you're going to get these really lucky, like awesome moments. Not to say like the rest of the game might not look good. But just you're not like, oh yeah, like every night it's a beautiful sunset like GTA, and like every morning it's this, and you're really throwing in like this really immersive real world.
So somebody said I think the clouds are a bit too fast in that last clip, but I was sped up. I sped it up because the clouds looked cool, like the way they were like merging in the last clip.
Yeah.
This one like is regular speed, so you can see the clouds don't really move. But the clip before this was sped up.
And someone asked, actually I'm gonna play that again. If you can control the weather, like if there's gonna be a setting or slider for that.
You can tell it's sped up with the grass and the trees and stuff.
Yeah.
So what'd you say there?
But someone asked in chat, or a few people did, if you can control the weather dynamics at all.
Probably in the cinematic mode that I add, because I want that spectate camera. The cinematic mode, like what I want is like all you do is like watch things unfold. Like everything will happen. You're just not in it. You're just a spectator. Nice. And you can set up really cool shots and pictures and videos, and you can change the weather and the time and all that stuff. But that won't be like part of like survival.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
Dude. Alright, shred it.
Shredding the gnar, bruh.
Shredding the gnar.
Yeah, bro. Cutting some lines, taking some turns.
It's really fun. Like riding the bike is fun. So the bike was.
It sounds so good.
The bike was a suggestion by Seleno, which is one of Kit's buddies.
Okay.
At him in the chat, but he started doing videos on the game as well, and yeah, he was one of the videos. He was like, "It'd be cool to have a bike," and in my head, I was like, "Nah, that's stupid." But then I was like, "Wait, you know, it's not." And then here we are down with the bike.
Yeah, no, I love the bike. Looks good. Sounds good. Oh yeah. This poor couple. They were on what's that? Isn't that like in SpongeBob? Like Makeout Cove or something?
Yeah, Love Cove or something.
Yeah.
They were like the car shaking and then
Someone in chat. Who? What is that? What is that? What's the answer? Oh yeah, Lovers Cove or
something like that.
I can't remember. Yeah, they were just chilling, and all of a sudden the world is ending.
It's like
Oh my
a lot
god.
of serial killers look for people like that.
Yeah.
In this shot, you can see like at night the fog is most prominent. Like it used to be always at night. So you have like foggy nights. You have clear nights where you can see like clearly like this. And here it's foggy.
Yeah. So good. That zoom is that a keybind?
Right click.
Oh, nice. Because I was gonna say it's really nice.
It's not like OP, but it's nice to like focus.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So those spotlights are super bright. It's not supposed to be like that, but I fixed it since then. Because this was like the first test after I put in vegetation. I just managed to get all this cool video, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna throw that in the video real quick.
Okay.
But the spotlights won't be that bright, even though it looks kind of cool. But they're not that bright.
Like during the daytime or at all time?
Yeah, it's just like the bloom on them. They're so bright.
Oh, okay,
lower
okay.
the intensity.
Yeah, because it just kind of distorts the face of the tripod.
I don't know if you saw like little individual pieces of the cars like fly off and stuff, like the doors and the wheels and stuff.
Oh yeah, this is helpful having you. Oh yeah. Oh nice. So that's new with this update?
No, it's actually been there for a while, but
okay, I just never noticed.
Sometimes I'll be running from a battle like this, and I'll see like a car door fly by my face at like 100 miles an hour, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" I almost died.
Yes. Oh man.
Things like trees falling on you and like debris hitting you, like that will hurt you and stuff.
Oh yeah, because you just said like I almost died, and it made me realize, oh, like if you got hit by a car door that's flying at you at 160 miles an hour, it will hurt you. So, man, yeah, I love that you're paying attention to all these details.
So somebody mentioned the leg is moving super fast when they walk. So if you go back to when the tripod kind of first turns towards the military, so this would have
that one?
Yeah, right here. Like you see how smooth the turn was. Like that's all procedural animation. So like the tripod's feet plant now. Before, like in the older videos, they kind of slid around because it was just an animation.
Yeah.
It's to like an AI agent. But now the feet have IK, so they'll plant and they won't move until the animation event tells it to take a step and lift its foot. So like there's an issue with this though, is like you'll see sometimes the feet like move super fast after they lift. But that's being worked on right now. That's kind of the last hurdle of this. That and then getting the toes to like conform to the terrain are the last part of the IK. But you get a lot more natural movements now with the tripod when it like turns and like pivots and 180s and stuff. It has that effect like it has in the movie. But before it would just be like the whole tripod kind of like slowly turns, doing the walking animation. So that was not acceptable. So now we have this, which looks a lot better.
Oh, bro, keep pushing it. Yeah, I remember when I first saw your videos and like the tripod comes out of the ground and there is the sliding, like IK wasn't even like involved then. Exactly. And it's just cool to see that you're like continually pushing deeper into the game design and development aspect of these details that some will miss. And some will miss just because it's like so natural and perfect, and it's like, oh, that's how it should be behaving. But like, you're totally right in like pointing that out and making us all be like, hey, like,
to go through like videos with you, just like point out things that you might not notice or people might,
Yeah.
This part's cool because I almost died.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I remember talking earlier with like the heat ray hitting near you and stuff.
Yeah, I actually was gonna say, I feel like this is the first time I saw like that blue light, and I love it. Yeah, like it's so neat. Yeah, it's so neat. I was so wanting to see this. Like, it's so cool.
So I noticed, like, I watched the movie again. I noticed like in the basement scene before the plane crash, like all the flashes are only blue, which I assume to be like the heat rays. And I assume like all the colorful flashes like green and purple and stuff are the force field.
Okay.
But I was like, you know what? I think it would be better to have like blue, white, purple, green, pink, like all these cool like space colors,
Yeah.
like randomized instead of just blue for like the heat rays.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like you
cool.
always have this flashing and it's like different colors. In the movie, it's just blue.
Yeah.
But I feel like to have all that flashing colors was a good idea.
Yeah, that makes it more fun.
You get those blue moments, like this clip right here. You have that blue.
Yeah.
Which looks great.
Yeah, I think I did notice in some other videos where there were like multiple colors flashing, and it's cool. Like that was green. Yeah.
Yeah, it's green. And
that's awesome. Let's, yo, can we just appreciate Raf tonight for doing this with me?
All the time that I've wasted on this Q&A that I could have been working on. I'm kidding.
That's it. We're done. Get out. It's over. Goodbye. No. Oh, man. Well, Raf, you are awesome. And we love your game. I love your game. I love the progress you're making. I'm really glad you're able to take this time and do this with me. I super appreciate it.
I really enjoy doing this stuff, like, cause like I'm locked at home, like doing this stuff, like by myself. Like I don't really get a chance to talk about it and answer questions like this. Like I get hundreds of messages every day on all platforms. Like it's a lot to keep up with, but I like to be able to do something like this where like somebody has a question, they can come watch this video and it's likely gonna get answered. Rather than like messaging me and then I never say anything and they never know or something like that, you know. Or I just surprise them in a video that their question was answered. Yeah,
that's actually smart because then you don't have to spend all that time or hiring a secretary or getting your girl to answer all the questions for you on the side.
All the feedback and the suggestions and stuff. But it's like, it's unlikely it's not impossible. Like I reply to a lot of people, but there's so many questions and a lot of them are the same one that I was asked like 8 times in the last 20 minutes. So I might not get a chance to.
Did you have anything else or? Oh, you know what? I had one question, but go ahead.
I'll just answer a few more from this.
Oh, sure.
Because I don't want people to like have asked for no reason. Will the tentacles have animations like the older videos where they were like flinging everybody around? No, I tried to smoothen them out to be more like the movie. Will there be hiding and distraction mechanics? Yes. Well, the hiding is like up to you. It's not like. Well, I'll probably add like being able to go in a closet or like a little like a wardrobe or something, or under the bed. And then
a little Dead by Daylight kind of.
Yeah, and then they have about distraction mechanics, which I plan on doing. Let's see. Are there any plans to expand the staff of the development team? Were there any offers from studios that accidentally noticed this project? So I only work with people that are like as or more like passionate about the thing that I'm doing as me, which I've never met anybody more passionate. But I have met people as passionate. And like I've done some of my best work with people like that. But I don't seek hiring people or like looking for somebody. I have one guy who helped me with the IK stuff because I found his plugin on the asset store and I bought it and I showed him my game and I was like, hey, do you think doing the tripod legs that I have like wanting to do to make them look better, is that possible with this tool? And he was like, not right now, but like I'll do it for you and like you can put it in your game. And I was like, I'll pay you. And then it was like that natural, you know.
Nice.
Like I didn't have to go out looking for somebody or like put a notice. Or for me it's like, if you can do something that I need, then I'll pay you to do that. But I'm not gonna like, you're not gonna be on the team because there's no team. Like nobody can keep up with me when it comes to this stuff. Like I can hire you and pay you a full salary, but you're not gonna be able to stay 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. with me because nobody's gonna in their sane mind is gonna work as much as I do on this, you know. So if you're not with me, you're like holding me back pretty much because I don't like having to wait on people to do stuff for me to move forward. Anyways, will there be further developments in realism, improving the environment, the behavior of the people? Yeah, I already went over. Those are the two things I've been focusing on pretty much. He said, what happens if we get caught by the probe or by the aliens? If the probe sees you, it'll retract, and then the tentacles will come and get you. And then if the aliens see you, they'll just melee you. So I'm still doing the animation for that stuff, and I plan to show it when it's ready. One more question, guys. Sorry.
You're good.
I'm gonna pick a good one. I'll pick one that I know that a lot of people ask. The workshop and modding. I love modders. I'm a modder myself, as I said in my story earlier. Like, that's what I started doing. I just don't know how to support mods in my game and like make a workshop and stuff. Like, I don't know that whole API. I've never done it.
Yeah.
And I just know, like, hey, you want to throw a new tripod in? Like, it's not going to be easy. Like, you're not going to be able to use my AI code because my AI code is designed for these specific tripods. Like, it's not going to work on Jeff Wayne or whatever, you know. So if they find a way to do it, like, I'm not going to be like, hey, you can't do that. I'm not going to be like that, you know. But if they do it, like, I fully support it. If they have questions on how things work, like, I'll help. But I'm probably not going to take the time to like make a whole modding API and level editor and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, sorry if I didn't get to your question, guys. I really appreciate everybody's questions. A lot of them are repeats or were answered. And if I didn't answer it, it will be answered in the game.
Yeah, at some point in time.
Yeah.
All right, 3 final questions from me, and then I will let you go because this has been really awesome and in-depth.
I feel like I'm losing my voice right now.
Yeah. We're gonna need to sip some tea and just chill afterwards. Chat, if there's a question you're still asking that hasn't been answered, it might have already been answered earlier in the stream. I will cut this down to a digestible video. But Anthony did ask if the Camelot deleted scene will be in the game.
Yeah, that's a big question too. It's in our FAQ. If you don't know, the Camelot scene is a deleted scene from War of the Worlds, which was after the ferry, in between the battle scene and the ferry, where Ray and the kids are going through sort of like a neighborhood subdivision, and a battalion of tripods. Okay, so real quick, there's a channel called War of the Worlds Q&A.
Yeah.
That has been posting videos that aren't even of me working, and he says that they're like making buildings and making vegetation.
Oh, yeah, I see them in chat right now.
That's a fake account, guys. So if you see it, he's been replying to comments on my videos, like acting like he's me.
Jeez.
So if you see that Q&A on the end of the name, that's not me. So just FYI. But anyways, what was I talking about?
The Camelot scene.
Yeah. So there's a battalion of tripods moving through, and then one kind of gets really close to them, and it crouches and starts like grabbing people out of the building right in front of them, but they're hiding behind a car. And all this is happening, and it's like something that never happened. There's only like concept art and like some pictures of it. But people want me to do that scene in the game. I don't know if I'm gonna recreate it like it was supposed to be, because there's not that much reference, and a lot of people have already done similar things on YouTube. But the tripods will like crouch and dig people out of buildings and stuff. So like things like the Camelot scene will happen in front of you. Like, I don't need to recreate a deleted scene because the whole game is things that would have made the movie, you know, like they should have made the movie. So like the movie is always happening in front of you in its own way. Like, you are surrounded by cinematic moments all the time. But they will be able to do things like crouch and grab people out of buildings and do things like that. So in a sense, the Camelot scene will be included, but I don't know if I'm gonna like recreate it exactly how it was supposed to be.
Yeah, makes sense. Second of the last 3 is, I believe we might touch on this again, but people are asking, so release date, if you just want to give a quick blurb.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I don't have one, mainly because like this is such a big game right now that I can't put a stamp on it and be like, hey, this is when I'm gonna finish it. Because I want to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I was gonna do the Patreons like stages. Like right now, I have my top 5 Patreons testing the game, and then I'll open up to like my top 10, and then I'll go with top 15, and like we'll ease into it. But I'm not ready to just like have a day where I know like I'll be basically like dreading that day for the rest for until it happens, you know. So until I feel like the game is like ready to go or like ready to enter early access, because I'm not gonna wait till it's fully done. Like I want you guys to play it, like even if multiplayer is not ready yet, like at least you can try, you know, single player and this and that, and then I can work on multiplayer. Like I want it to be sort of like a staged release. So I don't have a release date yet, guys, but things are moving quick, and we're already have people testing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's in the stages.
Yeah.
So if you want to play
yeah.
the game, like you got to be a Patreon. For now, like it will release on Steam early access, but it's gonna be Patreon first.
All right, and
my top Patreons.
Final question, and if there are any aspiring, if you can make this one short, no, it's gonna be tough. If you can make any, what would you say to any aspiring indie game devs out there?
Okay. My number one advice, if you want to make a game, you have to be obsessed with the game, like the idea of the game. Like I would never be able to be like, hey, let me go make 3D Pac-Man. Like I would blow my brains out before I even got 10% done with it, because I don't care about Pac-Man.
Yeah.
It's a great game, like it's fun. But like I don't have you have to have the passion behind it.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna need money, like it's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like it's expensive, very, very expensive. Like this game has cost me tens of thousands of dollars already, so it's expensive. But don't let that like scare you away. You know, like if you have an idea and you really believe in it, you can find the means. For me, it was crowdfunding my idea and hoping people supported it, which they did. Even if it wasn't anywhere near the full amount that I wanted to reach, I still had enough to deliver something and make it into something. But you need the passion and you need that drive to want to do it.
Yeah, you gotta enjoy what you do.
Yeah, you have to really want it and like it. But start small, understand, and just go for it. Be creative, and anybody can do it, man. Like this is the day and age to be a game developer. If I can do it, you can do it. Exactly.
Love it. All right, well, that does it. How long have we been live? I don't even know. I don't know what time it's 10:30. Wow. Okay. Jeez, 2.5 hours flies by when you're having fun.
That was fun.
Raf, thank you so much, Raf, for being here. I'm gonna spam this. If you guys are not following him, go follow him. Go look at his Patreon. Do all the things. Thank you guys so much for being here. Mo, thank you for moderating. Thank you guys for also helping me hit 1,000 likes. This is crazy. Huge day for me. I greatly appreciate everyone that's here. Kit, also, go check out his channel. But Raf, thank you so much for spending time with me. It really means a lot, dude. And I seriously look forward to just seeing you find success with your game. And I'm glad we got to connect like this. This has been awesome.
All right. I really appreciate that, man. That was a great time. I loved like talking to you and the people and just talking about what I've been doing, you know. Like it's cool to socialize for once.
Yeah.
But I want to just shout out some people who have made this possible. One, all of my Patreons. You guys have kind of given me a reason to work on this. Because I have people who really like are supporting the idea, helping me somewhat fund this game. And next would be, even though they don't really associate with me or anything anymore, two artists, Dead Ram and Slendy. were super helpful in the very beginning of the game. And yeah, like they really helped me get this off the ground. So a lot of like credit to them. They're not around anymore, but next is Colossus, my sound guy. I just got a new guy, but I'm not gonna credit him yet because he got to earn it. And Risto, which is the IK guy, super helpful with the tentacles and the feet. IK. Araya, I already shouted him out. He really made the tripods pop, make them look really good. And shout out to all the YouTubers doing their thing. Shout out to Voidboi for letting me bother him for 2.5 hours. Congrats on the 1K.
Thanks, man.
It'll be 2K in no time. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Don't be
afraid to do other games. Like, do your thing, bro. Like, this is your thing. But I'm glad I could help. I see you doing great things on YouTube one day.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, and guys, if you don't know, I do try and check out other indie games. I've done a few already. It's called Game Spotlights on my channel. It's like a playlist where I just check out the latest indie game that I'm interested in. That's it. Raf, thanks for being here. This is super cool. Really awesome talking with you and getting to know you more. And can we get some wows in the chat? Maybe some alien heads. I want to see the chat horns.
Here, I'll send you a preview of some of the new horns.
Okay.
You can play it for the chat and see what they think, because we're working on it actively, trying to get it to sound better. And yeah, I want to see what they think. I'll send one of the Uberpod and one of the regular ones, and you guys tell me what you think. Let me just find it real quick. Give me a second. You can entertain them.
Look at. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. You guys are great. Oh man. What's everyone's favorite cereal in chat? I'm curious. Now I get to talk to you guys. What's up? This is the after hours. This is the doesn't make it in the YouTube video. No one knows. No idea. Actually, Lucky Charms, Corn Milky, Captain Crutch, Honey Nut Cheerios, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruity Loops, Fruit Pebbles. Yeah, I know it's a hard one. Any Reese's? Any Reese's people out there? I'm a huge peanut butter chocolate guy. Got another Cinnamon Toast. Reese's Puffs. There we go. Dr. Feelgood. 108. Man, what? Man, what you talking about? Gabiba boy? Is that how you say that? Jabiba? Gabiba? Pizza? Okay. Who in my chat is having pizza cereal?
All right, I sent you an example of the regular one, and then I sent you an Uberpod example.
All right.
But there are many different variations of these sounds, but they're still being worked on. But we're trying to make them as close to the movie as possible to keep everybody happy. The Uberpod is like a little original to make it sound different, but I know a lot of people didn't like the more like electronic sounding one. So we're doing something else, so you can play whenever you're ready.
All right. I'm going to play it. Ready, chat? I just want to make sure we can hear this.
So this is the Uberpod.
Okay. Hold on. I have to make sure it's going to my stream. Give me 1 second.
So this is one example of the Uberpod has like 30 different horns, but this is just like an idea.
All right. It should be going to stream now. All right. Whoa, is that a little loud? What do we think of that, chat?
That's kind of
Damn.
how low. That's kind of how low we want it to be. It's gonna be like different pitches and ranges and stuff, and longer and stuff. But that's kind of how we want it to sound. That's for the Uberpod. Here, I'll send you another example of the Uberpod. There's like people are liking that one.
Nice. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Mad Lad, we're off the cereals. We're not talking about cereals anymore. Yeah, that's awesome.
The other one.
All right, here we go. Uberpod. Uberpod underscore Uber underscore 2 wave. I'm gonna play that again. It's a little quiet. Okay, that was number 2. Nice, cool stuff, man.
I mean, there's like a bunch of them. So somebody said like Uber 2 sounds better. So they all sound like the same in terms of like what the style is, but they all have different pitches and sounds and movements and stuff. And then that link above it is the regular tripod.
Oh, okay.
Some of the horns of the regular tripod. So this is like some designs we did today, some drafts. So it's not final, but this is like kind of the direction we're going.
Nice. Let's listen. Let's hear.
Keep playing it.
Ooh, I like that at the end, that little inflection. Nice. I love it, man. There's some gems in there for sure.
Yeah, that's a new guy we just brought on today. His name is Kaniki.
Kaniki.
Like, Discord, he was like, "Hey, can I make a horn? Like, let me give it a shot."
Nice.
And I was like, "Go for it." And he sent me like a first draft, and I gave him feedback on what to change. And now we're at piece 6 of today. We spoke first at 2 a.m. last night, and now we're on version 6. Nice. All day he's been making improvements, making it sound good. So me and Colossus were like, we have like 800 drafts of the horn, and like we just been hitting dead ends with it. Like the community always like is never really fully happy with it, but I think this one is really is gonna hit good with the community.
Yeah, I definitely liked what I heard there. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of variations, but nothing is final. Things will get improved, and we'll make sure everything is acceptable before you guys get the early access.
Yeah, man, you've been handling it really well.
You got the why you wanted.
Yeah, I did.
That's some exclusive stuff. I haven't shown that to anybody yet. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, you saw it here first, chat. So it was really kind of Ralph to show us that. I appreciate it, man. Mo says join the Discord server. No, Mo, you can't make me. I'm not gonna.
You should though. It's
yeah, I should. I probably will as soon as I get off. Oh man, all right. I am actually gonna grab snacks. I'm hungry now. But
you gotta link your Discord too, man.
I'll link my Discord. My Discord's in my YouTube profile. That was a nice voice crack. We've been talking for a while. Yeah, if you want to, you know where to find my Discord. It's on my channel. If you guys want to find it, you'll find it. Welcome. Come on in. Hang in. But yeah, go check out his Patreon. Go support him. You know you want to if you're not already. But Raph, that was awesome. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys in chat. And that's it. That's today's stream.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in. It was great, man. You did great. Good job. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. Congrats. And yeah, I look forward to you playing the game soon and seeing what you think.
Nice. All right. That's it. See you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.